has not slowed down here. So President-elect Donald Trump is making his return to Capitol Hill this morning. He'll first meet with House Republicans before heading back to the White House for a meeting with President Biden around 11. So Biden is expected to lobby Trump on a number of domestic and foreign policies, including his commitment to Ukraine and a ceasefire in Gaza. But the Biden administration says his top message will be ensuring his commitment to a peaceful transfer of power here at home. Meanwhile, the Trump team is working on filling out his own upcoming administration. The president-elect has nominated Pete Hegseth to serve as his Secretary of Defense. Hegseth is a decorated Army combat veteran who served tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. Trump also selecting former National Intelligence Director John Ratcliffe to lead the CIA and former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee to serve as U.S. Ambassador to Israel.
You're seeing a scrambling all over the Middle East of countries suddenly trying to behave differently because they know a new sheriff has come to town. This is Donald Trump that they are afraid of. And I'm just ecstatic that he has asked me to be part of what I think is going to be not just a realignment of political parties and many institutions in America, but really the world, to bring peace that we desperately need.
And some other important selections. Trump announcing Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will lead the new Department of Government Efficiency. Trump says the goal of that department is to cut excess regulations, cut wasteful spending, and restructure federal agencies. Now, Musk says all actions of the department will be posted online for maximum transparency. Anytime the public thinks they are cutting something important or not cutting something wasteful, just let them know. And Ramaswamy says, quote, Americans voted for drastic government reform, and they deserve to be part of fixing it. Trump says their work in that new department will conclude no later than July 4th, 2026. Guys.
Dun, 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 dun. Little pig, let me in.
It's happening! Daddy's home! Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. landed moments ago, and we are ready to return! And it's gonna be amazing! In the words of Elon Musk, who is now a newly appointed federal official, along with Vivek Ramaswamy. Pete Hegseth is your Secretary of Defense. Soon to be FBI Director Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence. That's what we're hearing. Holy moly. Today we're going to cover all of it live. You are in the right place. We have all the cameras and all of the feeds ready to cover President Trump, who is speaking very, very soon to the House of Representatives and will be speaking and meeting very soon with Joe Biden himself at the White House as Joe Biden surrenders the keys to the federal government and says, here you go, MAGA, we lost. Full trifecta control of the federal government, ladies and gentlemen. MAGA owns it all. We've been telling you on this program for a very lonely 4 years. Not lonely between you and me, friend. But we've been telling you that we are the majority. We've been declaring with one voice that we are the majority in this country. And now we have proved it. Today is Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. We take our birthright in Washington, D.C., the hunters will become the hunted. Trump makes triumphant return to Washington and Capitol Hill. White House visits. We will have, most likely, the results of the Senate vote for leadership. Multiple senators breaking for Rick Scott at the very last moment, including Ted Cruz and Marsha Blackburn this morning. We'll see what happens, and we'll cover it all live today. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy named heads of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, officially last night. Mark Paoletta, who may be the next Attorney General, we'll see, we'll ask him about it. Monica Crowley, who worked in President Trump's first administration and will most likely be working in the second, will both be joining the program. Here, your grand central station for everything happening with this glorious transition. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we're excited to bring you President Trump live very, very soon. He's going to be speaking to the House Republican Conference, and hopefully he's going to be slamming Senate Democrats, I call them Senate Democrats, John Thune and John Cornyn, and we'll be heading over to the Senate to smack them around as well. We'll see. Despicable Mitch McConnell, ladies and gentlemen, has not. Despicable Mitch McConnell has not. Okay, got it. Has not. We're live. We're going to be rolling live. We have our entire excellent production crew here. We're not going to miss a single moment on this channel. Despicable Mitch McConnell, I guess, has moved forward with his vote to bring forward a new Senate leader to maintain permanent control of the Senate for Mitch. We don't like Mitch. We want Mitch to resign in disgrace. We want him to leave the Republican Party and to join Liz Cheney on Epstein Island, where they belong. So, ladies and gentlemen, we await those returns as we await that and the great return, ladies and gentlemen, of Donald Trump to Washington, D.C. Consider your own personal finances right now as stock markets explode, as the crypto markets launch like a SpaceX rocket. Now is certainly the time for you to consider American financing. American financing is the number one way to consolidate your debt, reduce your monthly expenses, make sure that all that credit card debt that racked up over the horrific Biden depression that we all just lived through goes away and goes away very, very quickly. American financing can help get it done, and they close in as fast as 10 days. Call American Financing today. American Financing today. 888-528-1219. That's 888-528-1219. AmericanFinancing.net/Benny. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Let's go, baby. Here we go. Donald Trump. Producer telling me Donald Trump speaking very briefly to the House Republican caucus. Elon Musk apparently in tow. Let's rock and roll. Show the people what's up.
In the hand of the new UN ambassador, Elise Stefanik, as well, and he's about to give a speech. Let's just listen in for a moment.
Here we go. We got Donald Trump. Mute, please. You can't, every time we play the Lee Greenwood song, the feed gets taken down. Klein, it's an automatic mute whenever you hear that song. Sorry, guys, it's not my rule. I need to call Lee Greenwood and tell him, like, please, let us play the song. All right, here we go. President Trump.
Well, thank you very much. This is a very nice gathering. Isn't it nice? It's nice to win. It's always nice to win. A lot of good friends in this room. So, you know we had, like, historic kind of numbers, especially for the president, but we won't get into that. But the House did very well, and I think we're responsible for 31, helping you with 31, meaning we could have lost by quite a bit, and we ended up, I guess you'll be 5 up. Are you looking at 5 or 4? 5 or 4, right? Doesn't matter. We get used to 1 for a little while. When you can get used to 1, you can get used to anything. So I just want to thank everybody. You've been incredible. We worked with a lot of you to get you in, and you helped me, and you helped me too. And my numbers were, so they say, the 129 years is the most important election in 129 years. That's pretty good. I said, who is the 129 years? What was that, Doc Ronnie? Who's 129 years ago? I'd never looked because it started at being 100, and then they upped it to that. But it's a great compliment. We won the majority by 7.1 million. We won, which is great because Republicans aren't supposed to be winning the majority, Marjorie. You know that, right? And we won that, and we won it every way, all 7 swing states by a lot. And then Michigan was great. Couldn't be better, I'll tell you. Michigan was great. And we had a couple of people, almost New Jersey is right, just a few points. It's got them very worried because they say, well, next time if we go up even a fraction of what we went up, you're going to win New York, you're going to win New Jersey, you're going to win places that weren't winnable. California, too. I think without one speech, without campaigning at all in California, I think we were lost by 9 points. I mean, 9 points in California, and it's very doable. It would be really doable if they changed the election process.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to explain to you, because my producer just checked in with me, what's going on here. This is not some type of horrible earthquake or event that occurred during Trump's speech. There in Washington, D.C., there are something called press gaggles, press bubbles, where the press get ushered in order to capture a moment, like President Trump taking the stage here, and then they get ushered out so that everyone can have an honest conversation with each other. Now, we're communicating via text with people actually in that meeting right now, but that's the most that they'll allow cameras to capture and cover. So it's not a broken feed. It's not some horrible natural disaster. That's what they allowed. That's what the handlers allowed the press to show. Okay, so that's what actually happened. That's what we're going to go through today as we monitor President Trump's triumphant return to Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock and roll. We have President Trump landing on the tarmac today. President Trump obviously is set for a series of meetings. We're going to be monitoring very, very closely the Senate leadership vote. President Trump landing on the tarmac today. This is pretty awesome. This is Trump Force One landing next to a government plane that I don't think is Air Force One, but still pretty epic. You have a government plane there that says United States of America. You have Trump Force One. Here's Trump getting off his plane today. The triumphant return to Washington, D.C. We got that, Klein? Yep. Go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is President Trump's grand return. The reason why we play that is because we were there for President Trump's, exit. I was living in Washington, D.C. at the time. We actually made a viral video. Danny, get me that viral video that we made that continues to be posted again and again and again. I want to show you what we did on the day of President Trump leaving Washington, D.C. last time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it looked like when President Trump left for the last time in Washington, D.C. I want to show you what having the spirit of a lion actually is. Here we go. This is President Trump's last time at the White House. Let's listen.
The honor of a lifetime, the greatest people in the world, the greatest home in the world, I call it a home. We've had an amazing 4 years. We've accomplished a lot. We love the American people, and it has been something very special. And I just want to say goodbye, but hopefully it's not a long-term goodbye. Thank you all very much. Mr. President, do you have any respect about your president?
President Trump saying it's been an honor of a lifetime. As the jet engines roar on Marine One, this was President Trump. This is President Trump leaving the White House. President Trump will be returning to the White House today in an act of absolute alpha defiance against every conceivable corrupt system. Evil and vengeance is the Lord's. Today is going to be an epic day. So that's going back into the history books. Let's go back just slightly farther just to show you what we're about to witness. This was what happened when Trump met with Obama in the Oval Office. Trump's done this before, taken power from a man who wished to imprison him, humiliate and destroy him, a man who was actively plotting sabotage for his administration. A reminder, Barack Obama was briefed that Hillary Clinton was going to launch Russiagate, did nothing to stop it, and did everything possible to make sure that it all happened. Barack Obama should be thoroughly investigated for his part in Russiagate. Kash Patel, the rumors are that Kash Patel will be in charge of a federal agency, possibly the FBI. Director of National Intelligence will be Tulsi Gabbard, and Pete Hegseth is confirmed as the Department of Defense Secretary. John Ratcliffe for CIA Director. John Ratcliffe, of course, excellent and one of the most loyal, arguably the most loyal when it comes to the intelligence community serving President Trump in term one. So John Ratcliffe, well-deserved CIA director. Those are some of the updates as of right now. Here's what happened and what we are about to see. And again, we have our entire full production staff on. We will not miss a single thing today. We will be sending full breaking clip. This is going to be your Grand Central station for every breaking news clip that happens today as Donald Trump rolls through D.C. like a conquering hero, because he actually is, ladies and gentlemen. Trump defeating the evil systems that wish to imprison and kill him. And he's done it all over again. Here's the first time he did it. Here's Trump's meeting with Obama.
Well, I just had the opportunity to have an excellent conversation with President-elect Trump. It was wide-ranging. We talked about some of the organizational issues in setting up a White House. We talked about foreign policy. We talked about domestic policy. And as I said last night, my number one priority in the coming 2 months is to try to facilitate a transition that ensures our president-elect is successful. I have been very encouraged by the, I think, interest in President-elect Trump's wanting to work with my team around many of the issues that this great country faces. And I believe that it is important for all of us, regardless of party and regardless of political preferences, to now come together, work together to deal with the many challenges that we face. And in the meantime, Michelle has had a chance to greet the incoming First Lady, and we had an excellent conversation with her as well, and we want to make sure that they feel welcome as they prepare to make this transition. And most of all, I want to emphasize to you, Ms. President-elect, that we now are going to want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds. Please, sorry.
Well, thank you very much, President Obama. This was a meeting that was going to last for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and we were just going to get to know each other. We had never met each other. I have great respect. The meeting lasted for almost an hour and a half, and it could have, as far as I'm concerned, it could have gone on for a lot longer. We really, we discussed a lot of different situations, some wonderful and some difficulties. I very much look forward to dealing with the president in the future, including counsel. He explained some of the difficulties, some of the high-flying assets, and some of the really great things that have been achieved. So, Mr. President, it was a great honor being with you, and I look forward to being with you many, many more times in the future. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President.
I got to tell you that clips that didn't age well. I think that Donald Trump has proven that he is the kind of person who can reach across the aisle and build coalitions. Obviously, one of his appointments that it's about to go down, Tulsi Gabbard was a Democrat just a few years ago. Now, obviously, somebody who has left the Democrat Party, officially joined the Republican Party, and will potentially have one of the most powerful positions in all of the federal government. We'll get to that in just a moment. We have breaking news right now, ladies and gentlemen. Jill Biden and Joe Biden at the White House doing a what seems like a joint press conference with the two of them. We have some clips out of this. So you see Joe and Jill on stage. They're just asked what's going to happen in the meeting today.
Some are going to graduate. Joe and I are also preparing for what's coming next.
Joe crosses himself. Okay.
It has been the honor.
All right. So Jill making a tacit jab, I think, at how badly they lost, although it seems like they're handling it in good humor. It does make me a little nervous And then, Klein, do we have a longer clip of that? Okay, yeah, all right. We'll play a little bit of a longer clip of that because at the very end of the clip, Jill Biden gets asked what they can expect inside of this meeting today, and she goes into it. They're going to talk about Ukraine, no surprise there. But also, two quick, very important things. You will not see Jill Biden with Melania Trump today. Boys, do we have an article about that? Or if not, let's just surface that. I want to cover this really briefly because we're going to play you a clip of Jill Biden giving an update here. Jill Biden, essentially the night nurse of the White House. She's running the place. Joe Biden not running jack. This has been the case for a very long time. Remember Jill Biden after Joe Biden's debate says, "You answered every question." You answered all the questions, Joe. So it does seem like Jill, who's in charge, will not be getting her meeting with her counterpart, Melania Trump. Here we go. Melania Trump statement today. This is now official. We covered this in multiple news reports yesterday. Official statement from the office of the First Lady. Mrs. Trump will not be attending today's meeting at the White House. Her husband's return to the Oval Office commences the transition process, is encouraging. She wishes him great success. In this instance, several unnamed sources of media continue to provide false, misleading, and inaccurate information to be discerning about your sources of news. Let me tell you what's been out there that I don't see any, quite frankly, any problem with. Melania Trump is doing whatever, are you a parent? I'm a parent. You a mother? You have a mother, right? Odds are you have a mom. Let me tell you what, if you have a good mom, then she's not going to tink tea glasses with somebody who tried to lock up her children. Somebody who sent federal agents to go raid her son's room, which is what Jill Biden did. Jill Biden was part of a regime that tried to murder Melania Trump's husband. And there are many different ways to assassinate somebody. You could assassinate them politically. You could assassinate them through impeachment. You could assassinate them through lawfare. They tried to lock her husband up. They tried to make Melania Trump a widow, this witch. Jill Biden, witch, tried to make Melania Trump a widow. Do you understand? Either by locking President Trump in jail forever, making him die in prison, right? Or by looking the other way as they criminally reduce Donald Trump's security forces and a Biden donor, we never call him that. We do on this program because we actually have guts and balls on this program. A Biden donor, because it's Matthew Crooks. Funny how quickly that disappeared. Nobody knows anything about him. Nobody knows who he's talking about. We're going to find out. Anyway, Matthew Crooks makes Trump eat a bullet. Donald Trump caught a bullet because, in part, of people like Jill Biden. So I'm okay with this move. Melania Trump there is nothing that says Melania Trump must somehow make friends with the people that wanted to destroy her life and sent federal agents to raid her boudoir. No. Good on you, Melania. Right? Good on you. Danny, you got me some tweets yesterday of Melania versus Jill Biden side by side. So let's get some of those. We're going to bring back class to the White House. We're going to bring back, ladies and gentlemen, the America greatness that we saw in the first President Trump administration. Except for this President Trump administration has just been killing it with appointments. Man, it's so awesome. It's been hard to actually keep track of them. Do you know that Dan Bongino is being seriously considered for Secret Service Director? We confirmed that yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, with, let's just say somebody who would know. So this is happening. It's all happening. Dan Bongino might be Secret Service Director, speaking of Trump assassinations. Jill Biden, this is a 3-minute clip, guys. I just want the part where they talk about, what's going to happen. So please cut the fat on that. I don't want to go to 3 minutes to Jill muling. So get me the actual pertinent part of that, please, ladies and gentlemen. Here is what, these are great. Can you load this? The side-by-sides? Get them up, Klein. Let's go. This is what will return to the White House. Melania Trump is under no obligation to side with or make peace with somebody who we call Jill Biden a witch. I don't know what the hell these stockings are. What the hell is this? What is she wearing? What is that? I'm not a fashion guy. I wear the same cheap T-shirt every single day. I have like 20 of them. I just wear the same, like cheap. They're like $2. So I don't know what the hell this is. Any women in the audience and women in the chat, can you shout out? Like, what exactly is this look? Like, what are you going for here? Right? Like, what's the goal of this? Right? Is it like nighttime in Bangkok? What exactly are you? What are you trying to tell people? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what's returning. That's what's going out. This is what's returning. Also returning might be Alina Habba. We haven't even covered that. Alina Habba may be press secretary. The chat rejoices. Ladies and gentlemen, return. Bring us back to the glory of the olden times and the good times. Here we go. Scoop, Alina Habba emerges as front runner for Trump press secretary. Would you look at that? Ooh, boys. Would you look at that? We out ya. One more. Do you have this one loaded, Klein? If not, grabbing that. And let me know, production chat, if we have before we move off the Jill Biden block here, and the breaking news. We begin with the more breaking news. Let me know when that Jill Biden clip's been trimmed. Nobody needs to hear 3 minutes of Jill Biden talking, like, ever. All right. Okay, here we go. This is look at Jill Biden clomping around like a Clydesdale. What the hell? We always say that she's the Bed Bath & Beyond of White House first ladies, because it looks like she goes shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond and wears a shower curtain. Look at Melania Trump. Frickin' supermodel is what she is. Should we start should we start the process of like asking for Republican super donors and billionaires who've become who some of them have reached out and are quite big time fans of what we're doing here. It's very interesting. This is part of the reason why we're going to Mar-a-Lago this week, actually. We will be bringing you lots of reports from Mar-a-Lago. Hopefully we'll be able to see Melania Trump, and we'll just flip the phone around, go live, and we'll bring you Melania Trump. It'll be very fun. Anyway, the point is we should buy Vogue, right? Like his Conte Nast magazine. We should buy Vogue and then put Melania Trump on the cover every single month. Just buy Vogue. Melania Trump deserves to be on the cover of every single fashion magazine that sits in your supermarket aisle. You feel me? Yeah. You feel me, chat? Like, you want to talk about real reparations? These are reparations, okay? The reparations of putting Melania Trump, put up the pyramids photo again. Putting up this woman is our first lady, and she belongs on the cover of they need restitution. Melania Trump deserves reparations from the fashion industry. Our single most fashionable and elegant first lady to ever live. Sorry, Jackie. And she needs her magazine covers. Okay? We're going to start advocating for that on the program. We got a lot of women in the audience. Got a lot of based chicks in the audience. We're going to get you yours. This is the moment. This is the moment of the based MAGA chick energy. Young MAGA girls look up to Melania Trump, and it's time that industry like bows down and respects it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We got a big update here about what Donald Trump is going to be talking about with Joe Biden. This one from Fox News. The meeting will effectively talk about Ukraine, and Fox News covering where the First Lady is going to be during the actual meeting with the presidents. Okay, here we go. Clip one.
Traditional meeting between the incoming and outgoing presidents when President-elect Trump get back here to the White House and meet with President Biden in the Oval Office later today. You know, I got to tell you, you haven't seen a media footprint at the White House here really like this since President Trump left office back in 2021. This is going to be his first time back at the White House since then. Trump never extended Biden that invite in 2020. The White House refuses to say what Biden wants to discuss, but we have gotten some hints from Biden's national security advisor, Jake.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So they're going to talk about Ukraine. Well, this is of no surprise to anybody. What will happen in the First Lady wing of the White House? what is considered the East Wing of the White House, right? Where the First Lady lives and resides. Here we go.
First Lady Jill Biden there. It is now confirmed that she will not have a meeting today, though she reached out to Melania Trump for the invite. Incoming First Lady Melania Trump will not be meeting. She tweeted, or her office tweeted this morning, Mrs. Trump will not be attending today's meeting at the White House. Her husband's return to the Oval Office to commence the transition process is encouraging, and she wishes him great success. In this instance, several unnamed sources in the media continue to provide false, misleading, and inaccurate information. Be discerning with your source of news. There has been some reporting out there, notably from the New York Post, that the reasoning behind Melania Trump not coming to the White House today is because of that summer 2022 raid on Mar-a-Lago, the Trump's residence. In the documents case, the White House maintained at the time that the president was not informed in the decision-making to raid Mar-a-Lago, but Melania Trump, or her office there, speaking for the first time about her decision not to attend today's meeting.
Right.
Still waiting for some scheduling here. The president-elect is not too far away, close to the Capitol. Will make the trip up to the White House. He'll make a similar trip on January 20th. But here, meeting with President Biden just a short while.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have footage of, well, we wish. We have reports of. We really wish we have footage of. We'll pay. We'll pay. Get me footage of White House staffers crying. This, according to Posobiec this morning, White House staffers are literally in tears, refusing to come to work. Biden staffers crying in the halls of the White House. Many have called out sick today, per White House official. Yeah. Call out sick permanently. Save yourself the humiliation of what Elon Musk is about to do to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue. There is a quote from a CNN Capitol Hill reporter when he talked to Pelosi. I just asked Pelosi how she's doing, says CNN Capitol Hill reporter Manu Raju. Terrible, she said, as she wept bitterly. So awesome. So amazing. We do have a shot of J.D. Vance inside of the halls of the White House. Boys, we got that. J.D. Vance walking through the halls of the White House. My team is telling me, stay tuned. We got producers in every corner of the internet watching every feed that exists. Look at J.D. Vance and his security team now. Holy moly. Rolling through to what I have to assume would be the Senate leadership vote. Right? So you have to assume this is him walking in to vote. Boys, we don't have a Senate leader yet, but we do want to do shout outs right now to Marsha Blackburn and Ted Cruz. Hey, Alex, you got that list that you surfaced this morning of where the standings are, please? Marsha Blackburn and Ted Cruz, who have flipped their votes for Scott, so good for them. An eternal humiliation pox on the House Hawley, Josh Hawley. We like Josh Hawley. I mean, we've seen Josh Hawley do some great work, but he went out and endorsed Cornyn. I just don't think I don't think you can defend it. I think it's indefensible. Right now, Senator Scott has the most public endorsements, which is awesome. This vote is going on right now, so pray. But the most public endorsements and the basest public endorsements, like Mike Lee, Blackburn, Paul, Rubio, Ron Johnson, Ted Cruz. So we'll see what happens. The way this vote goes is the third place if nobody gets to 27, you need 27 votes to have a majority. If nobody gets to 27, then they kick the third place person off, and then those votes they vote again. The fact that it's taken over an hour, votes started at 9:30, but the fact that it's taken over an hour is probably a good sign, actually. So a reminder that everybody on this list, please scroll down. A reminder that everybody on this list who hasn't endorsed is trying to backstab you, the voter. We'll say it. We'll say it. They're trying to backstab you. They're trying to, in the dark of night, sneak in permanent power for Mitch McConnell until he freaking goes into the tortoiseshell of the afterlife. So don't let them get away with it. If they haven't told you they endorse, that means they're trying to backstab you. So again, massive shout outs to Marsha Blackburn and Ted Cruz, who came out this morning saying that they're going to vote for Rick Scott after Mike Lee's candidate forum last night. Mike Lee also endorsing Rick Scott. And Mike Lee is the only person who held a candidate forum last night. He said every senator was in attendance listening to the actual visions. Can you believe this? So Mitch McConnell wasn't even going to have a candidate forum where you could listen to people that were vying for the Senate leadership spot. Mike Lee had to force that issue. We hear from multiple sources. A completely and despicable move by Mitch McConnell trying to backstab Donald Trump on his way out the door. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is on Capitol Hill right now with what we assume to be a massive beat stick, like a baseball bat with barbed wire wrapped around it. Little piggy, let me come in. That's what he's doing to Mitch McConnell's office. I think that's the cold, actually. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a glorious morning. Again, Donald Trump is speaking with House Republicans right now. Peter Doocy spoke with the White House yesterday in a spectacular moment, a preview of things to come. Just to let you know, we just reported to you that the White House staffers are sitting in the corners of their offices in a fetal position, crying and sobbing into their My Pillows and their bite sticks, their bottles of Xanax rattling around in their purses as they wonder about all the decisions they've made and what they hath wrought. One of them is Cringe Jean Pierre. We'll be very, very sad to lose Cringe Jean Pierre. She's been so entertaining. Please get me a nuclear cringe, Klein. We got to use it while we can. We built all these great stingers for cringe, and we're going to have to retire them. Oh, so sad. But we'll use them we'll use them liberally, okay, while cringe is still in office. Here we go, nuclear cringe of the day. Was it awkward when Biden met with Camilla?
And we know that today, a week after the election, President Biden and Vice President Harris had a private lunch. How awkward was that?
I don't even understand. Why would it be awkward?
Because
why would it
the president
be
got squeezed out for her, and then she kept him at arm's length, and then she lost, and now she's back.
Why would you characterize it as awkward? They have regular lunches. They meet and talk regularly. Why would you call it awkward?
So there's no weirdness about the way that things have unfolded since
Did you
the
see
last
them?
21st.
Did you see them together yesterday as well when they honored our veterans and were together during the day, making sure that we didn't forget the brave men and women that fought for this country? Did you see them together yesterday? Did you see the show of force together? This is. Look, I'm not even going to take the premise of the question. What I will say is the president and the vice president had lunch today. They've had lunch many times. They have they communicate with each other regularly. They had an opportunity to discuss the last 70 days or so of this administration, how important it is to get things done for the American people. And that's their focus. That is genuinely their focus.
I am so, as I'm watching that, I get so angry realizing that Mitch McConnell sided with these people. You know, there's photos of Mitch McConnell hugging Joe Biden during this administration. And Mitch McConnell right now is trying to sneak a vote in. To my knowledge, ALX, has Trump gone to speak to the Senate? Has the Senate invited Trump to go speak to them? We need to agitate for Mitch McConnell's ejection from the Republican Party. Like, the Republicans should vote to kick McConnell out. They should make McConnell one of these homeless political refugees. Mitch McConnell has not invited President Trump, as far as we know, to speak to the Senate caucus, even though the Senate is having a vote today for leader. Despicable. Truly, truly despicable. Maybe it was Mitch McConnell who Donald Trump was talking about when he left Washington, D.C. for the last time. Well, the last time yet. When he said, "I hope you have a nice life." This is President Trump departing Washington, D.C. 4 years ago, almost to the day, speaking to presumably Mitch McConnell, who had backstabbed him and then who actively united with Nancy Pelosi to impeach Donald Trump, to lock his supporters in prison, to lock you and I in prison, to destroy the agendas. Do we have the photo of Mitch McConnell hugging Joe Biden? I guess it's completely despicable. Maybe this is who Donald Trump was talking about. Here we go. Here's Donald Trump's last parting words in Washington, D.C.
So, have a good life. We will see you soon. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
He is honest, ain't he? He is honest. We will see you soon. Here's what Mitch McConnell did over the past 4 years. You all are aware that I hate Mitch McConnell, right? This was Mitch McConnell literally hugging Joe Biden, uniting with the man who was trying to kill Donald Trump. Again, I have evidence that there was criminal negligence and malfeasance that led to President Trump eating a bullet on stage, had his life saved by God. But at the very least, it is inarguable that Joe Biden was in favor of multiple assassination attempts against President Trump judicially, and politically. And so, yeah, they were trying, like, Joe Biden was trying to lock Donald Trump up in prison forever. Joe Biden, 2 years ago, it was our team that snagged this and made this go nuclear. Joe Biden said, we're going to use every single tool in and under and around the Constitution to show the American people that Donald Trump will not assume power again. What kind of a statement is that? These sick demagogues, we should never, ever forget it. We should never forget it. We should honestly run Mitch McConnell out on a rail. Mitch McConnell should be ejected from the Republican Party. That should be the next vote. Next vote should be Mitch McConnell has no place in this Republican Party. You can go be an independent, and then we're going to primary your ass. I bet that the guy who drives the trash truck or the guy who does the fries in Kentucky could beat Mitch McConnell. Like the guy who makes the McDonald's French fries in Kentucky, like grab that guy, put him on a ballot, and he'll beat Mitch McConnell. I don't think Mitch McConnell ever will run again. But they're back, baby. Here's a photo of Team Trump leaving President Trump's plane. You'll notice some familiar faces from this program. You'll see that Elon Musk is actually on that plane. Here we go. Yeah. No. Here's a photo. There we go. There we go. That was President Trump leaving the plane. Also epic. You'll see here we have Stephen Miller. You know him from the show. We have Jason Miller. You know him from the show. You have Dan Scavino. You know him from our social feeds. We love Dan. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, quite frankly. And that's all right. And then who is that? Right there is Elon Musk. That's so freaking awesome. Oh, they're so scared right now. In Washington, they're so freaking nervous about this. They're so upset. Elon Musk was announced yesterday as the head of Doge, along with Vivek Ramaswamy, who has since taken himself out of the running for an appointmentship to the Senate because the governor of Ohio will get to appoint a Republican senator until the next election. Here's the official Donald Trump statement on Elon Musk and Vivek being in charge of dismantling the federal bureaucracy, slashing excess regulations, cut wasteful spending and expenditures, restructure federal agencies essential to saving America movement. This will send shockwaves through the system of anyone involved in government waste, and that's a lot of people. Oh yeah, baby. Donald Trump saying it will become potentially the Manhattan Project of our time. Of course, that is the project for the federal government to create the nuclear bomb, which reshaped the world. And I think that's what Donald Trump is saying here. He is creating a weapon that will reshape the universe, which is pretty awesome. And I think that they're ready to do it. Republican politicians have dreamed about objectives of the Department of Government Efficiency, lovingly known as DOGE, for a very long time. To drive this kind of drastic change, the Department of Government Efficiency will provide advice and guidance from outside of the government. We'll partner with the White House Office of Management and Budget to drive large-scale reforms, approach the government never seen before. I look forward to Elon Musk and Vivek making changes to the federal bureaucracy with an eye for efficiency, at the same time making life better for all Americans. Importantly, we will drive out the massive waste and fraud that exists throughout our $6.5 trillion government spending. We spend $6.5 trillion a year, yet we have a $35 trillion debt. What the hell is going on? These people need to be in jail. They will work together to liberate the economy, make the government accountable to we the people. Their work will conclude no later than July 4th, 2026. It's about 18 months, right? A little more than 18 months. A smaller government with more efficiency and less bureaucracy, and the perfect gift to the American people on its 250th anniversary. What a glorious time. What a truly, unbelievably glorious time to be alive. This is, ladies and gentlemen, what we posted on X this morning, that just kind of wake up and you're like, this is just a profound moment. Here we go. I don't want to play you Elon Musk's approach to this as we await Donald Trump and Joe Biden meeting in the White House, which we have all of our feeds up right now. All the White House feeds effectively just show long lens shots of the White House as we sort of await the motorcade when it starts moving to the White House. We'll let you know, and it's gonna be fun. Please appreciate the profound significance of this moment. Corrupt federal bureaucrats tried to shut down, bankrupt, and deport Elon Musk. Now Elon Musk is their boss, with a mandate to publicly humiliate and destroy them. Hollywood celebrities turned on Trump with leaks and fake stories and hundreds of millions in donations to his opponents. Those Hollywood celebrities used to love Trump. Well, guess what? President Trump now has unlimited access to the Diddy tapes and the Epstein list. TikTok, predators. What's Trump going to do? I mean, Hollywood's been pretty quiet. The FBI has all of the Diddy tapes. Apparently, they're sharing them with prosecutors. Everybody in Hollywood who was invited to a Diddy party went. Every single person in Hollywood will see their lives destroyed. And should, rightfully. We've said it on the show many, many times. We don't care if they're if they're people that we know or happen to like. If you went to Epstein Island, if you flew on his plane, if you went to a Diddy party, you deserve to have your life destroyed. There should be no hiding. There should be no lies in this next administration. Woke generals who staged color revolution against Trump and kicked out patriots like Pete Hegseth from the military. They must all stand at attention and now salute Pete Hegseth until their court-martials, which should absolutely happen to Mark Milley. Democrat DOJ lawyers who viciously weaponized the legal system and tried to kill Trump any way they could will now all face their own special investigations, disbarment, and maybe worse. I could go on and on and on. This is biblical levels of revenge against evil. Vengeance is the Lord's, and it's only going to get better. Dun, 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 dun. Ladies and gentlemen, Elon Musk explaining what he's about to do to the federal government that has tried to investigate, bankrupt, and deport him, and even worse. A reminder that Elon Musk is currently being federally investigated by 17 different federal agencies, all of his companies. And now they all answer to him. Ooh, back at you, bitch. Here we go.
We're going to be very open and transparent and be very clear about this is what we're doing. Here are the issues. This is the math for what's being spent. So we're going to make the spending lower. And if somebody's got a better idea for how to make the spending lower, tell us. But if we don't, we're going to bankrupt the country. And so we got to do something. And it's got to be some pretty big moves. Yeah. I'd say drain the swamps. There's so many swamps.
There are so many swamps, says Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk's entire timeline on X is just completely glorious. Here's Elon Musk. Pinned this. The people love it. It's seen by 60 million people. Elon Musk has been posting memes and has been absolutely slaughtering. Feels like a dream. The future is going to be amazing. It sure will. This is the only way, says Elon Musk to his counterpart, Vivek. Over the last 2 years, the Supreme Court has ruled that the administrative state is behaving in wildly unlawful ways. This is the Chevron decision, by the way, in case you're following along. This is the Supreme Court's decision, which was a profound decision and decided unanimously by the Supreme Court, actually giving the vote for Chevron. It was a majority vote. I think was it 6-3 or was it 7-2? It was an awesome win. What the Chevron decision said is that the federal agencies that oversee and regulate must be given that power by Congress. It can't be created out of thin air by an executive order by the stroke of the pen from the president. Those federal agencies don't actually have any power. And the only body that can give federal agencies power over the American people is Congress, because then we have a escape hatch or a pressure release valve to hit. When it comes to Congress, we can vote them out. We can change up the leadership. We get a say every single 2 years in the House. Every single term, a third of the Senate is up for re-election. And so we can change parties very quickly. That's the way that the founders intended it, so that there is a immediate feedback loop from us to the people in charge. What happens with permanent government bureaucracies forever is that there is no feedback loop. So this is what Vivek is saying and what Elon Musk is confirming. Slapping the bureaucracy on the wrist won't solve the problem. The only right answer is massive downsizing. Spoken like a true billionaire there, Elon Musk, also a billionaire, saying, yep, this is what we're going to do. Some of this stuff is not merely a waste of money, but outright evil, saying people are digging through what the federal government actually spends our money on. Why do we need a Department of Government Efficiency? In 2020, the U.S. government spent $4.5 million to spray alcoholic rats with bobcat urine. We're going to end it. We're going to end it. We're going to stop it. People, some of the English leaders of the conservatives in England saying we need this in Britain. It's amazing. It's amazing. Elon, this is my favorite tweet of the day because it speaks to exactly why we do this program. Elon getting a bunch of otherwise disengaged young men interested in how the government works is an existential threat to the current system in ways that cannot be quantified. Correct. Repost from us. Here we go. Exactly, says Elon Musk. Yep. Trump won the election, has the House, the Senate, popular vote, a mandate from the entire country, the repudiation of woke culture. Potential Supreme Court picks, 250th anniversary of America, Olympics, World Cup, and a mandate from heaven maximize this moment. I think they're going to. Donald Trump is maximizing this moment by putting John Ratcliffe in charge of the CIA. John Ratcliffe is somebody that may not be a household name, but he certainly should be. John Ratcliffe is a man who was director of national intelligence in the first administration. He is one of the only people that didn't flip on Trump, was totally loyal to the end, has remained loyal in defending Donald Trump. You remember Peter Strzok, the guy who was the disgraced FBI agent who used FBI phones in order to attack President Trump and say he's going to stop his election. This is what John Ratcliffe did to Peter Strzok.
The approximately 50,000 text messages that I've seen with your personal beliefs like F Trump, stop Trump, impeach Trump, go ahead and confirm on the record that none of that occurred on an official FBI device or on official FBI time. Go ahead and do that.
Sir, no, they did. Many of them did.
Oh, they did. Okay, so
50,000, sir.
So really, no, I'll give you a chance at the end. So what you really meant to say was that when you said you never crossed that bright, inviolable line, what you meant to say was, except for 50,000 times, except for hundreds of times a day where I went back and forth, expressing my personal opinions about effing Trump and stopping Trump and impeaching Trump on official FBI phones, on official FBI time. Other than that, you never crossed that line. I'm sure there are 13,000 FBI agents out there that are beaming with pride at how clearly you've drawn that line. Agent Strzok, are you starting to understand why some folks out there don't believe a word you say, and why it's especially troubling that you, of all people, are at the center of the 3 highest profile investigations in recent times that involve President Trump, and that you were in charge of an investigation investigating, gathering evidence against Donald Trump, a subject that you hated, that you wanted to F him, to stop him, to impeach him? And do you see why that might call into question everything you've touched on all of those investigations. Chairman, I'm done with this witness, and I yield back.
Totally badass, man. That man is now in charge of your CIA. You ready for this? Dude's now in charge of the CIA. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. We have some rumors that Kash Patel will be in charge of the FBI. Now, we said that Kash Patel would be great at the CIA. Little birdies told us that FBI or CIA. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see. Alex, do we have that clip? The rumors of Kash Patel at the FBI? Since we're on the topic, because we publicly advocated for Kash to be CIA director, I think John Ratcliffe is a spectacular pick. Not upset about it at all. Kash Patel for FBI director, abso-freaking-lutely. Here we go.
Other name that I'm hearing this morning as well is the next batch of nominations is going to be Attorney General and FBI director, and I'm hearing Kash Patel. This has not been confirmed. The president has not made a final decision on that, but he wants to clean house there next.
All right, baby. Here we go. We got some updates for you. President Trump is rolling right now. We can show you President Trump rolling out of the Capitol. There's no audio here, right? It's just street noise, but this is Donald Trump's motorcade. Full Secret Service presidential package there. Donald Trump not in the beast just yet. But ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is heading to the belly of the beast, which has been the White House. And speaking of outside of the White House, there are MAGA hats right now. This is amazing. Look at this. Trump soon. Trump soon.
And really enjoyed being with you all as we
Look
go
at
through
this.
this
MAGA
historic
hats
day.
outside the White House.
Karl Rove is still with us, and as this drive happens,
awesome.
There's anticipation on both sides.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is an important moment for the country. We need to see these two men meet. We need to hear that.
I don't want to hear from Karl Rove. I want nothing. I don't want Karl Rove to ever speak again, ever, anywhere. Karl Rove needs to be one of these guys that we kick out of the party, along with Mitch McConnell. Yeah, we're finished with people like that. They are willing sleeper cells for the Democrat Party. They exist inside of Democrat Party superstructures. They can be activated, and they often are, in order to impeach Donald Trump, to talk smack about Donald Trump, to imprison our movement. Enough. Donald Trump may be forgiving. We certainly are not. Here's some more excitement as we await, ladies and gentlemen, President Trump meeting officially with Joe Biden. Pete Hegseth will be the new head of the Pentagon. Pete Hegseth, ladies and gentlemen, for Secretary of Defense. You, of course, know Pete Hegseth. He has a big platform on Fox. He has a weekend show on Fox and is regularly appearing on Fox. Donald Trump has come forward and said he is the man for this moment right now. Very, very excited about it. Let's read to you in part from Pete Hegseth's announcement by Donald Trump. I'm honored to announce that Pete Hegseth will serve my cabinet as Secretary of Defense. Pete has spent his entire life as a warrior for the troops and country. Pete is tough, smart, true believer in America first. With Pete at the helm, America's enemies will be on notice. Our military will be great again. We'll never back down. Pete is a graduate of Princeton University, graduate degree from Harvard University. He's an Army combat veteran who did tours in Guantanamo Bay, Iraq, Afghanistan. His actions on the battlefield are decorated with 2 Bronze Stars, as well as Combat Infantryman's Badge. Try that again. Pete has been a host on Fox News for 8 years. He used the platform to fight for our military and veterans. Pete's recent book, War on Warriors, spent 9 weeks on the bestseller list, including 2 weeks as #1. His book reveals a left-wing betrayal of our warriors that now must be rooted out of our military in order to bring back meritocracy, lethality, accountability, and excellence. Pete has also led 2 veteran advocacy organizations, leading the fight for our warriors and great veterans. Nobody fights harder for the troops than Pete. Could you imagine how the celebrations that must be taking place right now inside of our American military? If you're a member of the military or if you're a veteran, shout yourself out in the comment section right now. We know we have a huge military viewership and listenership. We thank you so very much for your service And this is how we actually honor your service, by putting in people who could run a mile, right? Who could actually do some PT, who are actual fighters, war fighters, and not fat-ass armchair generals who just existed through paying off defense contractors, sliming their way up the DC ladder. There's nobody down bad more than the defense contractor space right now. They are losing their minds. That Pete Hegseth is going to be the man in charge. It's so awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be monitoring this very, very closely. It's a meltdown that took place on CNN last night that's capturing the attention of the internet as Pete Hegseth is defended by Scott Jennings, who has done God's work, frankly, on CNN. He's a Republican consultant and political advisor. In every single SmackDown clip on CNN won't have on real conservatives. Every single SmackDown clip you see on CNN is Scott Jennings. So you'll recognize this dude. Here's him defending Pete Hegseth last night.
Anyone have confidence in the current leadership of the Pentagon and the way the defense situation has been operating for the last several years? I mean, from the Afghanistan pullout, which was an extreme debacle for which no one was held accountable. We've had spy balloons flying over the United States. We built a $300 million pier as a public relations stunt, which wound up killing an American service member. I'd say I've had just about enough of the so-called insiders running the Defense Department. I think we ought to give Pete Hegseth a chance because he's got two
insiders.
All the criticism of him is that he's not the expected Washington pick, and I'm just saying to you that the American people just voted against the expected Washington pick. So he's got 20 years in service, Afghanistan, Iraq, 2 Bronze Stars, Princeton, Harvard. Yeah, he's on TV, but so are the rest of us.
By the way, that list you just gave,
I think he ought
that
to
list
be
you just gave is really interesting because you highlighted a bunch of things that the civilian leadership of the country decided on. In the military, their job was just to execute. They executed.
How did it go?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
How did it go?
In terms of the decision making, you're assigning decision making responsibility to the military over things that civilians were responsible for.
So you make a good point. The civilian leadership made decisions, and then the people they put in charge of the Pentagon carried it out. And it was all pretty much a disaster. So now we have a new president who I think got elected in part because of some of those disasters, and he's going to put in some of the non-insiders in charge of not just this agency, but a bunch of them. Now, look, they've got to perform. They've got to perform. I mean, we've got 53 U.S. senators that are Republicans. And Pete Hegseth, he's an American hero. The man won 2 Bronze Stars for his service, and he's been a champion for veterans. He's going to have to go up there just like everybody else and prove his knowledge of how to do this job. He's not immune from that, but we ought to give this man a chance, in my opinion.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there are viral clips of Pete Hegseth rocking around the internet. Hey, Alex, can you grab me that clip as we await Donald Trump's arrival at the White House? We'll see. You never know how long these things take. Can you grab me that clip from the Sean Ryan show? Pete Hegseth talking about what he will do on day one. Got to grab that one. Let's grab that one. Something people need to understand, says Charlie Kirk, as, again, we monitor all of the feeds. Right now, the White House feed just shows, we'll show you, just in case this is the White House feed right now, currently. Now, you can see people on the balcony. You can see the Marines standing at the ready. But this is what we have currently, right? President Trump is not there. When President Trump arrives, though, we'll cut in. And I have a feeling we're going to get a pretty solid feed all the way through President Trump's arrival. They're going to do a joint press conference, right, in the Oval Office. It's going to be fun. It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so here we are. Charlie Kirk making the full-throated defense of Pete Hegseth here. Let's rock and roll. Something people need to understand about the Hegseth pick. Our military is in crisis. Our Navy can barely build ships anymore. Our Army has squandered years of munitions on the Ukraine quagmire. Our soldiers are out of shape. Morale is low. Our country lost in Afghanistan and is losing right now to the Houthis in Yemen. Our military purged thousands of experienced patriots for not getting a COVID shot. Professors warn that standards at our service academies have declined precipitously. Our military had officers pick a fight with Tucker Carlson because he didn't want pregnant women on the front lines. Our military admits mentally ill people and demands that the taxpayers pay for unnecessary medical procedures. Our generals leak to the media about defying orders and that they might not like President Trump. All of this happened with experienced establishment generals running things. It's unacceptable. Continues. Our country will keep losing wars, and we can't afford to lose any more wars. We need a SecDef who understands the scale of this problem, is ready for bold, decisive action. Smarter outsider like Pete Hegseth is a brilliant man who's thrived in the military and academia and finance and media. He understands the nature of the crisis, ready to lead the attack immediately. The people complaining about these things are fine. They're afraid of losing cushy securities and lavish contracts. They want to maintain a failing status quo that works for them. They should be ignored. That's right. We agree. We agree 100%. Pete Hegseth is a total G. Ladies and gentlemen, we maintain absolute eyes on the breaking news environment right now. Mike Lee has just posted. Mike Lee is somebody who endorsed Rick Scott last night. Mike Lee posting just a moment ago, literally seconds ago, on the X account that ALX and Danny and I started for him. We literally grabbed his phone and created base Mike Lee. Okay, here we go. We're about 90 minutes into the Senate GOP conference. We will likely cast the first round of ballots in the Republican leader race sometimes in the next 30 minutes after speeches from the three candidates. Nominating and seconding them conclude. Okay. All right. So it looks like we'll have a vote maybe around the before the 12 o'clock hour. Rock and roll, baby. Here we go. President Trump will be arriving at the White House very, very soon. We're going to capture it all. Here's the live feed of the White House right now, just in case you're wondering if you're missing anything. This will capture President Trump's arrival. This is where all heads of state, whenever you see like a head of state arriving at the White House, this is where they all come rolling in. And you can see people there. You can see off into the distance, people on the balcony. That's the executive office building. That's where all the staff for the vice president work and all the staff for various governing agencies work. Our friend, Congressman Mike Waltz, has become the National Security Advisor. He's Donald Trump's selection for National Security Advisor. That's where his office is going to be. Mike Waltz. He's Representative Mike Waltz is a Florida congressman. He's been a friend of the show and been on the show many, many times. So here is where Donald Trump is arriving. That is certainly not Donald Trump schlomping out from underneath the camera angle there, but we are monitoring live, ladies and gentlemen. Pete Hegseth, since we're on this and since clearly there are many, many military members in the audience, again, shout yourself out in the chat. If you served this country, if you're actively serving this country, shout yourself out in the chat and start your day off right? Get some love from this audience who loves our American military. The number one way to show your love and appreciation for veterans, Veterans Day was just a day ago, and for our American service members, is to not start wars, to not begin pointless wars, and most importantly, to not lose wars. This is what Pete Hegseth is all about. Here's a clip that went thermonuclear last night of Pete Hegseth on our friend Sean Ryan's show explaining what's going to happen when he runs the Department of Defense.
The Pentagon is in the book, the exact amount of years, but in the past X number of years, 10, 12, 15, the Pentagon has a perfect record in all of its war games against China. We lose every time inside the Pentagon war games. We know what our real capability. You see, we didn't even get to this part of the war on warriors. I mean, the military-industrial complex, the way we procure weapon systems. We're always the way our system works, the way our bureaucratic system works, where the speed of weapons procurement works. We're always a decade behind in fighting the last war, whereas China, we have what did Rumsfeld say? You go to the war, the army you have. We have the army. China's building an army specifically dedicated to defeating the United States of America. That is their strategic outset. Take hypersonic missiles. So if our whole power projection platform is aircraft carriers and the ability to project power that way strategically around the globe, and yeah, we have a nuclear triad and all of that, but a big part of it. And if 15 hypersonic missiles can take out our 10 aircraft carriers in the first 20 minutes of a conflict, What does that look like?
Yeah.
I mean, and when if they've already got us by the balls economically, which you pointed out very well, with our grid, culturally, there's plenty of elite capture going on around the globe. I mean, and then microchips and everything. Why do they want Taiwan? They want to corner the market completely on the technological future. We can't even drive our cars without the stuff we need out of China these days. I mean, they have a full spectrum, long-term view of not just regional but global domination, and we have our heads up our asses.
Yeah.
And
this is what it looks like to have adults back in charge. Do you hear me? Can I get a witness? This is what it looks like to have adults back in charge. We have our heads up our asses. China is getting filthy rich off us losing wars, stealing our technology, and planning to defeat us militarily. We need to get our heads out of our asses and learn how to win a war again. I wonder, here's my recommendation. Start immediately running ads about how kick-ass the American military is. Start immediately, hire Michael Bay. Hire Hollywood directors to come in and to make actual ads about what our American military can accomplish and what we can do. Not woke, social justice, virtue signaling, identity politics garbage. Appeal to men. Appeal to war fighters. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Trump in the Oval with Joe Biden. Here we go. You got it? Nope. Producers, gotta. Where's our feed? There we go. Okay, here we go. All right, let's go. Up. Okay, Donald Trump live in the office with Joe Biden. No audio yet. Here we go. You can hear it. Ooh, boy. Here we go. Getting wrangled. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, going to be the broken audio. Thank you. Here's what's happening right now. Right now, they're doing a photo. They're getting a photo together. So this was just like a photo. It's called a photo spray, and they send the photographers in to do a photo spray. It takes about 45 seconds. So you get your photograph of the two leaders together, and then they usher everybody out, and then they do a press conference. So right now, the meeting is taking place. So apparently, there was absolutely, Klein, we can hear this. Stop it. Apparently, and yeah, go back. Let's show it again if that's what we're trying to do. Let's go back and lock in. There was a glitch in the feed. It's only 45 seconds. Okay, good. All right, boys, grab me that clip one more time. Grab me the full clip. It's some breaking news. Every camera on God's green earth wants to cover this news right now. So it's going to be a rowdy environment. We have our entire production team locked in and online. Boys, grab me that clip of everything we have with Donald Trump and Joe Biden in the Oval Office. Because it was welcome back to the center of the universe. The White House has been very sleepy over the last couple of years, and we are heading back, boys. Oh yeah, we are totally going back. Now, my producers are telling me that there was no shots of the arrival, so they must not have allowed cameras to capture Donald Trump's arrival. Ladies and gentlemen, we will clip and get you what we have so far. The two presidents have not spoken any words to each other on camera as of yet. Fox News saying that they were caught off guard, that nobody was prepared for this, and the total exchange of smiles and a roaring fire lasted only 45 seconds. Here it is. This is not live. We just played it for you live with the cameras being bounced around and sent out. Here is that what was played live just seconds ago, clipped, rock and roll. Look at Joe. Look at the smile on Joe's face. Donald Trump cracking a joke. Pause. You'll notice there the bust of RFK over the shoulder of Joe Biden. A spectacular reminder that RFK's son was the strongest ally against Joe Biden and the regime machine superstate of Marxists in fighting alongside Donald Trump. So there's some poetic biblical justice right there in this shot alone. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue. So here's where the audio kind of cuts out. You can see the handlers. The handlers are going to be shoving, literally physically shoving the cameras. But there they are. Donald Trump leaning into Joe Biden, cracking a joke. A photographer this has got to be the White House photographer, sneaking around from behind there and capturing this moment. Joe Biden looks happy, doesn't he? Joe Biden looks thrilled. This is the happiest Joe Biden's ever been. Look at him. Joe Biden's beaming. Joe Biden beaming. Okay, now we have different camera angles. We capture a handshake here in the next one. This is going to be your Grand Central Station, ladies and gentlemen, for what's actually happening at the White House today. The two presidents have said nothing into the microphones to each other. I think they've whispered to each other. Here's the handshake moment.
Well, Mr. President,
right here.
Elect and former President, thank you. Donald, congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
Good.
Welcome
Thank you
back.
very much. And, thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Joe.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is the let's capture the handshake moment there. There it is, right there. Pause. Oh yes, with the burning fire, the fire rises. With the burning fire behind him. Oh, there's the photo. There it is. Let's put it up, baby. That's beautiful. Look at that one. Check this out, guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, look at Biden. Oh, this is great. Oh, yeah, baby. Into my veins. Into my freaking veins. Look at Joe Biden. He looks scared, boy. I wonder if Joe Biden's going to ask for a pardon. I wonder if he's going to ask for a pardon for his son, who has the full teeth of the federal government coming after him right now, and rightfully so. And he shouldn't get a pardon. Joe Biden was not going to pardon Trump. Look at this. Look at that. More rolling in. So here's what happened. People weren't able to go live because the exchange was so short. They were able to effectively just film the exchange coming out. Now that film is now that exchange is being played out. It just played on Fox News. Do we have this clip, Killer Klein? Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's Fox playing live to tape. Let's go.
We want to go inside the Oval Office. Let's watch.
In many cases, not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Joe.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
So back,
so
boys.
Obviously this was in progress. And in my studio we have a lot of networks on at the same time, so I can see out of the corner of my eye. This caught everybody off guard.
Yeah, So you can see the moments ago there on Fox, everybody was scared. Look at Joe Biden's face. Look at this photo. This is great. Look at this photo. Oh, fantastic. Look at Joe. Oops, I crapped my pants. Look at Joe. The return of the king. Look at President Trump. That's what alpha locked in looks like. Alpha locked in. Courtroom Trump face. That's exactly right. Joe Biden. Look at him. Look at Joe Biden squirm. Oh, it's glorious. What an exciting moment. What a special moment. There's going to be more. There's going to be more. Right now, this is called the photo spray. They didn't really give any public. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, there you go. Grab it. They didn't really give any. There you go. This is a higher quality one, but well done. Well done, team. They didn't give any public comments. What happened last time was Trump met Barack Obama. They had a meeting that lasted in the 30 to 45-minute range. And then they did a joint presser. They called the media back in, and they explained what they talked about. They put the mics on, right? They let the media cover it, and then they explained what was going on. All right, what they talked about, how they engaged with each other, what they plan on doing in the transition for power. And so that's what we expect to happen now. Currently, right now, this second, this meeting is going on. Oh man, zoom in on Joe Biden's face. That's just too perfect. Zoom in on Joe. Look at oh my. Put this up on everything. Put this up on every social media platform that we have to every audience. This is the amazing Ashley. Call this the single greatest photo in political history. That's what this is. Put it up. Let's put it up. The single greatest photo in political history with a picture emoji with the flash. Just perfect. It says everything. Look at that. It's just freaking perfect. So let's go from Joe Biden to Donald Trump. There you go. The definition of locked in. Are you ready? Joe Biden's so scared. I wonder what they're going to do. We're going to have some guests on here in just a moment. Robbie, okay, so we're pouring in. Now the photos are pouring in of these two. Oh, they're great. You can toss them all up. Robbie, see if we can get any member of Congress. We have so many wonderful members of Congress that come on this program. See if you can get, I know that they're in meetings right now. See if you can get anybody to pop on, Robbie, and tell us what that Trump speech was like. Troy Nels, Burchett, all of our friends, all of our homies up in Congress. Get them to come on. I don't care if they join via FaceTime. Just pop them on. Let's go. The reason why it was tough to schedule a member of Congress right now is because Trump was speaking with them just moments ago. Trump addressed the entire conference. Mike Johnson there, the entire conference leadership there. President Trump traveling with multiple members of Congress. Some of our favorites are literally not available for the best possible reasons. Look at this. Chat, have you ever seen Joe Biden freaking happier? Look at this. Look at Biden. Look at these faces. This is also equally a perfect photo. This is the runner-up. This is a very honorable silver medal to the last one. Oh, a perfect photo. Look at this guy. Which Biden is it? Is it number 4 or number 7? I like number 4. Which Biden did they have come out today? I don't know. Looks like he needs to get some work done, though. Looks like he's malfunctioning. Just a little bit in the eyes. Look at those hands. Joe Biden's not doing well. Joe Biden not doing great. Holy smokes. Ladies and gentlemen, little snippets, because this took everyone by surprise, little snippets of this are coming out, and there's now news breaking across Capitol Hill, including members of Congress saying they're going to put Dr. Fauci in jail. Are you freaking ready? Also, Donald Trump's potentially future Attorney General will be joining the program in just a moment. Mark Paoletta. So this is going to be an exciting time. What we will be waiting for, however, is the full press conference with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. What do they talk about? What do they speak about? Elon Musk is at the White House right now, according to reports. Elon Musk is in the halls of the White House. measuring the drapes, as they say. Where would a Starlink fit? Where could I put a Starlink and a Tesla charger, right? How could I get a Cybertruck in here? Elon Musk making a rocket landing pad. Not launching pad. No. Rocket landing pad, because we can catch the rockets now. Here's what CNN was able to grab. CNN was able to grab a clip that we haven't shown you yet, which is the welcome back. Wow, Joe Biden playing it nice here. Joe Biden saying, welcome back to the White House. Have a listen.
Leader of the free world.
All right, let's go to this. They're meeting.
Looking forward to having a, like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So welcome back.
Welcome back. Quite a change of tune from one of the last times that Joe Biden talked about Donald Trump. We should get that clip. Can we get that clip? The Biden flashback where he says that he's going to do everything in his power to prove that Donald Trump will not ever return to the White House. Oh, it's glorious. Ladies and gentlemen, if you believe in biblical moments, here's one. So you just saw Joe Biden welcoming Donald Trump back to the White House. Joe Biden looking like he's in a Depends commercial, right? The first part of the Depends commercial where the adult accident happens. This was Joe Biden, cock of the walk, right? Quite sure of himself. Just a few months ago. This clip's about 20 months old. Here's Joe Biden talking about Donald Trump.
G7 conversation was tied to your predecessor, who is about to launch another campaign. So how do you reassure them, if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return, or that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States?
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by, if he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.
We must demonstrate that he will not take power, says Joe Biden. Joe Biden, we will demonstrate that he will not take power. And a few moments later, here's Joe Biden and Donald Trump shaking hands in the White House as Donald Trump retakes power.
All right, let's go to this. They're meeting.
Moments later.
Looking forward to having a, like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So welcome back.
Welcome back, says Joe Biden after he called Donald Trump and all of his supporters trash and garbage. Well, we're taking out the garbage today, baby. Oh, man. Legitimacy is back in the White House. Such a important moment. Such a valuable moment in this country's history. We're so proud to have been here. Well, from pretty much the very beginning. I watched President Trump leave office in Washington, D.C. I said, I'm getting the hell out of here. We're going to build something new. We're going to create something outside of this demonic cesspool of Washington. I watched what they did to Trump in the 2020 election. I said, this is wrong. I said, this is sick. And I said that I'm going to devote my life to making sure that this never happens again. So it's been an emotional moment. It's been an emotional time, and it's so wonderful to see the return. The Trump years were glorious in Washington, D.C. And ladies and gentlemen, we have returned. The return of the king. We recorded something on the eve of Trump leaving Washington that continues to go viral to this day. It's one of our very few, very rare TikTok-style videos. I'm not sure if we replace the audio or not. If not, we just play it without any audio. But yeah, this was me, flashback, young Benny, 4 years ago, on President Trump departing Washington, D.C. This was right before I left Washington, D.C. for similar reasons, because I was just sick of it. I was disgusted by the lies. And boy, what a 4 years it's been. Here we go. It's going to be right. You know, the great thing about the internet is that there's a record of these things. And so you know who's a liar today. I'm not going to name any names because I'm in a very good mood, but you know who's been lying to you. You can see who were the creators who 4 years ago told you what happened to Donald Trump was evil, wrong, that this is not the will of the American people, that what's happening right now is an illegitimate regime in Washington, D.C. Who were the individuals who defended President Trump over the past 4 years, ladies and gentlemen? And who are the ones who did everything that they could to prevent Donald Trump from taking office, including but not limited to siding with Democrats to try and persecute, destroy, and kill him? It's a wonderful thing to be able to dig back in the archives 4 years ago and to see that at the very least our show has been ideologically, morally consistent in this. And so it is a wonderful return. We monitor very closely President Trump and Joe Biden, who are currently actively meeting at the White House right now. The feed, of course, will show us just simply the outside shots of the White House. This is what's available to the press at the current moment. But ladies and gentlemen, America's golden age is beginning right now before your very eyes. Are you excited about it? Speaking of gold, my friends at Allegiance Gold can make sure that you are prepared for America's new golden age. Allegiance Gold helps me purchase my gold. I have decided to not buy into gold stocks or equities. I buy physical gold. I think this is I think this is freaking awesome. I feel like a prospector. It's not a lot, but it's something you can hold in your hand. And I think that has physical value in a world of like $30 trillion debt and fake money and zeros on a balance sheet that are totally digital and don't actually exist in real life. Ladies and gentlemen, invest in something that withstands the test of time. Will we go back to the gold standard under Trump? Don't know. Get up to $5,000 in free silver with a qualifying investment when you go to protectwithbenny.com today or call 844-66-BENNY. Protectwithbenny.com today. Call 844-66-BENNY. Performance may vary. Consult with your tax attorneys or financial professionals when making an investment decision. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have more interesting and awesome cabinet announcements, or at the very least, people that we would like to publicly advocate for. My team sent along a clip that they're demanding that we play, Pete Hegseth, saying that Pete Hegseth has made it very, very clear what the problems were in the last clip, but what he's going to do as the Secretary of Defense. So before we move from the Pete Hegseth decision that's already made to decisions that may be made today about RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel, ladies and gentlemen, I want to play you this because those who shouted themselves out as veterans in the military, or if you have a child or anybody that is in your family that serves in the military like I do. I did not serve in the military myself, but I have brothers who did and did painful, quite frankly, service, door-to-door house raids, man, in ISIS-controlled territories. And it's like any family that understands the weight of having their family members in a war zone or the potential to go to a war zone knows how valuable leadership like this is, okay? I certainly know it and I feel it. And I just want to say thank you to President Trump for putting this man in charge of America's military. Here's what must happen to save the American military.
There's a chance to course correct it, but it would take the new Trump administration going after it really hard.
How would they correct it?
Well, first of all, you got to fire, you got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit, has got to go. Either you're in for war fighting, and that's it, and that's the only litmus test we care about. You got to get DEI and CRT out of military academies, so you're not training young officers to be baptized in this type of thinking. And then, whatever the standards, whatever the combat standards were, say, in, I don't know, 1995. Let's just make those the standards. And as far as recruiting, to hire the guy that, you know, did Top Gun Maverick and create some real ads that motivate people to want to serve. And there's lots of other ways in which you could identify who gets promoted and what, but there's an ethos change. I mean, there's a reason people don't want to serve, because they don't trust that their senior leaders are going to have their best interest in mind in combat. I know there were mistakes made on our tours all over the place, but I, at least for the most part, had a sense that my senior leaders were committed to the completion of the mission for the right reasons. And maybe there were strategic differences and all that other stuff, and it wasn't always perfect, but that trust is broken, and you have to reestablish that trust by putting in no-nonsense warfighters in those positions who aren't going to cater to the socially correct garbage.
We need warfighters who don't cater to socially correct garbage. We need to cut the woke shit. Quoting directly our new Secretary of Defense. And we're going to need to actually do some ads that will recruit real Americans who are built for battle. How many members of our military could, like, run a mile right now? It's time to bring back honor. It's time to bring back masculinity. And it's time to bring back a sense of actual purpose to our United States military. Ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Sam hangs in our studio. As you can see, they stay based as we get... What's the update on the full America? I want the America map. Jamie, where are we at? I want the full map of the Trump victory right here. I want it done today. We're going to get it today. Today we get it printed and we put it up on the wall. Today that is the mission. Ladies and gentlemen, updates for Senate leadership. Casting ballots right now. Casting ballots right now. We'll see. We'll see if the first act of DC Republicans is to sabotage President Trump. Is this going to be the first act of Senate Republicans? Many from the White House, well, I say the White House, I'm talking about people who, and you can pop that up, I'm talking about people who will be working in the White House and beyond. Stephen Miller just posting a photo of himself in the West Wing again. That's it. Just a photo. This is the post. This is the full post. There's Stephen Miller, our dear friend, an ally in this fight, posting just a photo of the Rose Garden. No, it's going to be glorious. Oh, it's going to be it's just going to be great. Can't wait to do I can't wait to do our own TikToks at the White House, right? Remember Cooper? Remember Cooper? Yeah, we'll do our own Benny version of that. And Danny, make sure we get Cooper loaded up. Show you exactly what we are evicting from the White House. And man, I hope they got some cleaning supplies for this. So the Senate is voting right now on leaders, on their leader. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll also see what happens with some other very important nominations for President Trump. Who will be the press secretary? Alina Habba has been speculated to be the press secretary. Alina Habba, obviously a dear ally and friend of our show. Somebody who's regularly on this program. Alina Habba was asked point blank last night, are you going to be the press secretary for the White House? Here's how it went.
Let's talk about the possibility and reports that you might be the president's press secretary. Any truth to it?
I leave it to the president and 3 people that are on my board of directors. That's Luke, Chloe, and Parker, my children. Everybody will know in time.
All right, now I got to go in a little harder. Have there been any discussions about it?
Sean, you know me better than that. You would never have me on primetime if I answered questions like that. Look, President Trump has put together an amazing cabinet. I'm really proud of the work that him and his transition team have done. I think when we look at everybody, they are killing it on all fronts. America's excited for, frankly, sorry to use Mrs. Waltz's term, but turn a page. It's time to turn the page. It's time to have advocacy for America first. And whatever that looks like for President Trump and his team, I trust it. It's a decision for all of them to make, not me.
All right, serious question. If you were asked to serve in that role or any other role, would you?
I am very loyal to President Trump. I would think about it very seriously.
Okay.
All right, baby. She says she'll think about it very seriously. What about this? What about Dan Bongino as Secret Service Director? Come on, baby. This is according to Real Clear Politics and Politico, saying that Dan Bongino is under serious consideration for the Secret Service Director role. And, well, little birdies tell us that Dan's open to it. So we'll see. I guess we'll see. The number one thing we're not going to do is push fake news, right? We'll tell you when somebody is flatly rejecting something. Like, here's a rejection from this morning. A rejection from this morning was Vivek Ramaswamy said, I will not be the next senator from Ohio. Okay? J.D. Vance, we've only seen him one time today. Now, J.D. Vance is in the Senate leadership. I wonder if J.D. Vance spoke. You know, that'd be very interesting. Did J.D. Vance speak during the Senate leadership meeting right now? That'd be pretty fascinating. But anyway, there was speculation that Vivek would be appointed as a senator from Ohio. That'd be kind of cool. But Vivek is instead going to be devoting his full time to working at Doge. Here's the Post, right? We're not going to, we would never put up this Bongino news if we hadn't independently verified that Dan Bongino's quite interested in that position. Wouldn't that be awesome to have Dan Bongino in charge of the Secret Service? Holy freaking crap, man. That'd be so awesome. And let's shut down a couple things. Vivek will not be the next senator from Ohio. He's going to work at Doge with Elon Musk. I will not be serving as the next senator from Ohio. Vivek writing, let's put that to bed. I know that Vivek has interesting aspirations. This Doge operation is going to hopefully exist forever, but will be operating in the next over the next 2 years. Donald Trump says he wants it done by July 4th, 2026. Elon Musk posting this morning that, hey, we'll get it done faster than that. Here's Elon Musk explaining what they're going to do at Doge. This is, of course, one of the biggest updates over the last 24 hours, along with Secretary of Defense. We await potentially Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence. We hear that there might be an RFK appointment ship today. We also have these two members of Congress saying that Dr. Fauci needs to go to prison, just as sort of an addendum to that. Here we go.
Please. What I'd like to see out of that is Anthony Fauci checking into the Gray Bar Hotel for a long period of time.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it.
Okay, that's topical nomenclature for getting put in jail. Now, Elon Musk posted once again over the last 24 hours, my pronouns are prosecute Fauci. So Elon Musk wants to see Dr. Fauci in prison. Elon Musk is effectively in charge of Dr. Fauci now. Dr. Fauci gets a fat government pension. However, if you've been proven to have defrauded the American taxpayers and created a virus that killed millions of people, that cost the country $20 trillion, the world $20 trillion, then maybe you should be put in prison. Dr. Fauci, ladies and gentlemen. This will be very, very, very fun. Elon Musk explaining in detail. Oh, here you go. Here's Killer Klein. Very quickly, my pronouns are prosecute Fauci. There you go. Elon Musk posting yesterday what he intends on doing, prosecuting Dr. Fauci. Here's how he's going to do it. Elon Musk explaining what Doge will do and how they will approach the federal government. This is the biggest update at the current moment. And no doubt what Joe Biden and Donald Trump may be talking about at this very second in the White House.
We're going to be very open and transparent and be very clear about this is what we're doing. Here are the issues. This is the math for what's being spent. So we're going to make the spending lower. And if somebody's got a better idea for how to make the spending lower, tell us. But if we don't.
My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We've already played that clip. Killer Klein says, my bad. We've already played that clip. I want to talk about, this is Elon Musk talking about what Doge will be looking at when it comes to the epicenter of government waste, which is the Department of Defense. Here we go.
Our defense budget is pretty gigantic. It's $1 trillion. But the interest that we owe on the debt is now higher than the defense budget. over $1 trillion and growing. This is not sustainable. So we have to do something about that, or the country's going to go bankrupt. So that's an essential thing, too. Yeah, so that's why we need the Department of Government Efficiency. DOGE. That's on a brass plaque on a desk. It's going to be amazing. So, you know, it's yeah, like yeah, exactly. As people were saying, it's just like it's common sense stuff, and you know, America really just needs to remain the land of opportunity, the land where you know your success is a function of how hard you work and your talent. Like if you're talented and hardworking, that should be the only thing that determines whether you're successful. That's it. You know. And America is also supposed to be the land of freedom. That means personal freedom. Like the government should not be imposing all these rules on people, and you know, it's like, you know, yeah. So government overreach is not cool. Freedom. Yeah, exactly. Twitter files. I mean, it was just nutty. You know. People don't realize just how much government involvement there is in the media, and like how much the government influences the media. I mean, it's crazy how you'll see like in fact I think like whoever's manipulating the media should mix it up a bit because they're really not doing a great job.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were able to check in with our Senate leadership vote. You can see I just pulled my hair out of my head. I have to report to you that Rick Scott has not made the first round of votes. The two remaining senators are John Thune and John Cornyn. So the first act in the Republican Senate has been a betrayal of you, the Republican voters. This sucks. We've obviously muscled and done everything in our power. Guys, this is exactly what we reported. These are the exact numbers that we reported. There they are. We've done everything in our power to pull across the finish line this sabotage of President Trump's agenda from the outset. This is sick. It is sick what these senators have done. Thune got 23 votes. Cornyn got 15 votes. Scott got 13 votes. Thune was 4 short of winning on the first ballot. So we'll see where the Scott votes go this time around. This is interesting because it is exactly, ALX, grab our post, please. This is exactly what the whip count was that we published just a few short hours ago. We published the whip count on Sunday. And would you look at that? Would you look at that? We were within a few votes. Look at that. ALX and Danny, I want you to re-up this list and say we were right. If you want to know, we were right effectively with the margins, with 1 or 2 margin votes, and just a few off. I mean, Senator Scott got 2 extra votes. We know who those are. Those are Marsha Blackburn and Ted Cruz. With that exception, we were literally dead on for who got which vote. And if you take those votes out of the Cornyn column, well, there you go. There's the Cornyn votes. So this is a perfect list. Guys, post this up right now. I want everybody to know we were right. Everybody attacked us for the list and said that this isn't real. Nope. You want to know where they all voted? Here it is. Post it up. I'm going to rub it in their faces. These people, it makes me so angry. This is a day where there are so many good things happening right now. I'm sad to report to you, Rick Scott is out for Senate leader. Mitch McConnell has de facto won in the Senate by this vote, because now they're going to go back and vote again, and their only options will be Thune or Cornyn, who are subservient lapdogs to Mitch McConnell. A grotesque moment of betrayal of the Republican Party and the Republican base by members of the Senate. A moment that you should be enraged, because Mitch McConnell called this vote in the dark of night. It's a secret ballot. They called it very, very quickly. They should have waited weeks. President Trump was not allowed. Was President Trump allowed to address the Senate? No. President Trump was not allowed to address the Senate and make his case for who he wanted, although President Trump has not weighed in as to which candidate he wanted. And so you have to assume that there is massive amount of horse trading going on behind the scenes right now. It's frustrating. Boy, it's frustrating. Although Rick Scott getting 13, it's respectable. We're going to do our best, ladies and gentlemen, to fight back. We gave it everything we could. We published the actual list, and we were right. Damn it, we were right. Sons of bitches. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving along to a man who may actually be one of the bright, shining stars of the next administration. He certainly has been, as it pertains to Trump's legal battles. And one of the very few voices, I can't say the only voice, because Mike Davis is our dear ally and friend and regularly on the program. Mike Davis was on the program earlier this week, making the case for a single individual to become the Attorney General of the United States of America. I would argue that you could potentially see this as the most important position in the next administration. Very easy argument. Who will that individual be? Our friend and ally Mike Davis submitted a single name, saying Mark Paoletta needs to be the next Attorney General. Mr. Paoletta is a lawyer, senior fellow at Renewing America, former general counsel for the Office of Management and Budget under Trump, former chief counsel for the White House Energy and Commerce, helped confirm SCOTUS Justices Clarence Thomas under President George H.W. Bush, and of course now Clarence Thomas is in charge of the entire Supreme Court. So you can't get a better pedigree than this. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us live now, the great Mark Paoletta. Mark, thank you again for being on the program. You don't have to hype yourself up, man. We'll do it for you. But wow, I got to tell you, you had a very strong recommendation by Mike Davis. And so I kind of just off the top here, man, would you serve as Attorney General if asked?
I love serving president. First of all, Mike Davis, I don't pay Mike Davis. He's just a great friend, and he's the greatest warrior for President Trump. But I'd love to serve President Trump again in any capacity. If he thinks that's the right thing to do in any job in the administration. I was, as you said, the general counsel of OMB, where we did a lot of great things with Russ Vogt. And we viewed ourselves as the tip of the spear to make things happen for President Trump, right? There's so many people, too many people in that first administration who were trying to stop President Trump from being President Trump. Yes. But we embraced that role. We found the money for the wall, to build the wall, epic fight in the administration to get that done. But anyways, it's a great day for America, great week, whatever, great future for America with the reelection of the president, and looking forward to everything he's going to do with the team he's assembling. And I'm still out there fighting for him, and excited to see what he does.
Given your time at the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, you got to be singing from the rafters, Mark, over the implementation of Doge.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy coming in to cut government waste and excess. This has got to be one of the happiest days of your life to see that created.
And you know what, Benny, Russ and I have been doing some work over the past couple years on what's called impoundments, right? And the president reclaiming his impoundment power, that the Congress, that all of these sort of post-Watergate laws, right, that have weakened the presidency, the independent counsel statute, a monster of a statute, right? The Impoundment Control Act, which we've been talking about, even the War Powers Act, right? All of these things are what meant to cripple the presidency. And impoundments, we've written 2 20-page papers about that authority, which is the president can impound funds, as commander in chief, as trying to, make it more efficient. And I pointed out many examples going all the way back to Washington of presidents doing that. It's just basically stopped under Nixon. The Congress sought to really cripple the president. And since then, it's literally, this is how crazy it is, okay? And this is why I'm so happy about Doge, right? You get appropriated $100 million to do a project, and if you can do it for $80 million, you are breaking the law if you don't spend that $20 million under the Impoundment Control Act, okay? And so, usually, and this is where Elon Musk and Vivek are going to lose their minds when they realize it is illegal not to spend every nickel of an appropriation. That's how insane, how crazy Washington is. And it's one of those things when we came into OMB and we wanted to do rescissions, we wanted to try and, cut spending, that the staff, everyone in the sort of the career bureaucracy lost their minds that we would think about trying to impound funds. We also saw the State Department actually spend money under our nose when we were trying to cut and impound foreign aid money, $6 billion worth of foreign aid money that somehow the State Department was able to push out, while we were trying to get our work together on it. But anyways, all to say, it's an exciting day to have Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy heading up Doge, and that's a great project. And in the press release, as you saw, it said they're going to work with OMB to find those savings, to implement those savings. So it's going to be exciting.
So, I want to jump over to the AG question, but really quickly, since you're talking about it, can you explain, like you would to a very loyal and good boy Labrador, what impoundment means and how you would change a system of government that requires waste?
Well, I think that we think it's unconstitutional. So I think the president should say, we're going to impound the funds to UNRWA, or we're going to impound the funds to the WHO, or we're going to impound funds to a country where he makes a finding that this is not in our national interest. Or, we get appropriate.
Impound meaning you hold back the funds, right?
Yes.
We're supposed to give $100 million to ISIS or Iran or something. We're actually going to not do that.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Or if you have a program and you get $100 million, the president, we can do it for less, right? Or it's something that's so broken or infringes on, like DEI programs, okay? Unconstitutional, racist programs, right? That the president says, you know what? I'm not going to spend this money because it's unconstitutional. So we're trying to say, I'm going to do a 10% across the board. And here's the thing. We've done a lot of work on this, right? I think it was President Harding with the first Bureau of the Budget Director, Charles Dawes. They issued an order in 1921 that said, everyone get 10% of your budget and identify those funds, and we're not going to spend them. And so that was business as usual. Even FDR did this. And we've come up with many examples of presidents, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, impounding funds, highway funds, saying we're not spending this money. It's a waste of money. And so, again, the Congress passed the Impoundment Control Act in 1974. Literally, I think it was like 3 weeks before Richard Nixon resigned. Okay, so they had crushed him. He was trying to save his presidency. Congress jammed this down his throat, and he signed it. And then he resigned 3 weeks later. And it's this awful law that we kind of going into OMB, Benny, you hear about this thing, you don't really focus on it. We focused on it and then some. And it's a horrible law. It's an unconstitutional law. But the entire bureaucracy is trained to say, hey, we just got $100 million. We need to spend every nickel of it, $1 billion, whatever. And if you stop, if you try and pause it or even not spend that money, you're breaking the law. If you recall, I was the attorney who held the Ukraine funding, right? When the president wanted to look at his options, right?
Yes.
As you could recall, it was a meltdown, right, in the executive branch on that. And that was literally a 60-day pause. It's even illegal to pause money, okay? And what the GAO had said on their ridiculous finding was that, since the DOD had certified how this money was going to be spent, there's no more policy making. We had said this is a policy making exercise. The president wants to consider his options. No, because a bureaucrat at the Department of Defense had notified the Hill of how this money would be spent, we couldn't pause it anymore. So to me, I want to kind of introduce this concept of make the second Article 2, the presidency, great again, seizing back this power, that Congress has stripped away, and then it sort of gets in the bloodstream of, the president has to spend every nickel. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited that these two outsiders, right, to the Washington swamp are going to come in and, want to make a difference, and I'm looking forward to introducing them to the empowerment idea and the empowerment power that we've been working on and going back in history and looking at the constitutional text. Sort of the president is the chief executive. He gets to do this.
I think that what the greatest good will come from this moment is people paying attention, because these issues are the issues that create $36 trillion in debt. Right. And nobody actually understands why that happens. Wait, we spend $7 trillion, but we're $36 trillion in debt? How's that even possible? I'd be in the bread lines if my family did that. We'd be in the poorhouse. We wouldn't have a home, right? And nobody quite is able to square that. What Elon Musk and Vivek will do is bring attention to these systems. And with a bunch of people who have been unactivated or not locked in to how their government runs, they're now paying attention, and they'll bring forward all these young men and all these Trump voters into really recognizing what's happening in the federal government. I'm so excited for that, because it is utterly criminal, the malfeasance that occurs. And I think that with people paying attention, that's the change vector you actually need to get these systems revolutionized.
Yeah, and I've written, and we're talking about the AG, but also on the Department of Justice, but just more broadly, right? The president's authority, responsibility, right, to direct his agencies to do things, right? The Department of Justice, which is considered off limits in the crazy world of Washington right now. Again, a post-Watergate thing that when I keep reminding people that the president has this authority to direct the Department of Justice on prosecutions, on specific cases, on areas of focus, on dropping prosecutions, right? Lots of examples of that going back to Washington and Jefferson and Adams, right? Where they literally say, drop this prosecution, showing that Reagan did it in 1984, when he ordered the Department of Justice to drop a criminal investigation into a British airline because he thought it was bad, okay? And the president stepped in as the chief executive who supervises the Department of Justice. But going back to this empowerment idea, telling his agencies, right, with an order. And again, that's what we found the papers. We sent some people out to Northwestern University, where the Dawes papers are, to get the documents where the Bureau of the Budget Director sent a memo to all the agencies heads saying, fine 10%, right? Maybe we up that to directing them. So having these agencies listening to the president and responding to the president. Too often, what I found, and I was a congressional, as you mentioned, I was a congressional investigator for 10 years up on the Hill. Agencies, the government, this is this whole idea of weakening the presidency. Agencies are more interested in making the Congress happy, their authorizing committee, their oversight committee. That's who they're communicating with, and that they want to make happy. They'd rather make them happy than the president, or that's how it's been historically. And so the Congress has cleaved off so much, or tried to. And so this is why I think the president in this administration, all these lessons learned and coming back with the right personnel, these independent agencies, so-called independent agencies, they're absolutely unconstitutional. The president should be able to fire, right, the heads of the FCC or the Federal Trade Commission or any of these agencies, which again, what did Congress do? They set up these so-called independent agencies that you can't remove the commissioners, right? You're supposed to have Democrats and Republicans on them. No, you should be able to, this is the executive branch. There's only one executive branch with one boss, and he should be able to direct his agencies to do what he wants done. Why? Because he's the chief executive. So a lot packed in there, but it's an exciting day. I think the president, as I said, and I think as he, learned a lot of lessons in that first term, and is coming in raring to go to implement a lot of changes. This Doge thing, going back to that, is really exciting with the kind of the two of the greatest entrepreneurs, our greatest entrepreneurs, right, in the modern times.
So, Mark, moving with that agenda at the back of Donald Trump, where people are looking a little closer at what their federal government is actually doing, I think that when you crack open DOJ and show people what's actually happened in January 6th prosecutions, the defiance of the Supreme Court, the defiance of the highest courts in the land, the true criminality and political prosecutions of everyone from little old ladies praying at abortion clinics to grannies who waved American flags in a legal protest in Washington, D.C., and to the Trump prosecutions. Yes. I think that the American public are going to be rightly and fully horrified. My question to you is, if President Trump tapped you for this position, what would be some of your first orders of business?
Well, look, I wouldn't. I'd say whoever is the Attorney General, should fulfill. Okay, here's the key thing here, Benny. Should fulfill the president's agenda, which he's already laid out. Okay, and I think the transition team has at the top of their agenda or at the top of their briefing books every single commitment and promise that the president made. Okay, because that's the transition book. That's the agenda that's going to be fulfilled. So what does that mean? Securing the border, that, all the legal things that go along with it. That's why the Department of Justice really is going to be the tip of the spear. Eminent domain proceedings to get the land along the border, right? Clearing away all the legal requirements in terms of getting that money, declaring an emergency at the border as we did last time. So it opens up a lot more money again. Deporting all these illegal aliens, right? And then setting up, whether it's a task force or a group of people, you mentioned the J6 stuff, to look at every sentence and of every J6 defendant and either recommend a pardon or a commutation, looking at all the facts as appropriate, and then looking at the ongoing prosecutions and deciding, are we shutting them all down? Which ones are we going to do? But having a group, right? Not career people, not something that's going to get swallowed up into a black hole, but a SWAT team that goes in right away on day one and looks at that stuff and kind of deals with that right then, because that's what the president has said he wants to do. Looking into some of these outrageous abuses of office, right? You talked about the long sentences, the outrageous prosecutions of people just simply protesting outside of abortion clinics, right? It was a really weaponized Department of Justice, looking at Jack Smith, looking at the investigations into the president. But it's really both those things, which I call accountability, right? That's what it is. It's if people are abusing their offices, they need to be held accountable. And I think the American people voted for that on November 5th. And then you have these larger things working on getting DEI out of the federal government, right? Banning it, right? So that's a Department of Justice Attorney General memo and litigating thing. Not enforcing those provisions in any contracts or that sort of thing. Looking at companies and universities that discriminate, that use DEI and going after them, going after sanctuary cities, right? It's the craziest thing in the world, right? You saw this governor up in Massachusetts, right? Like bragging that, yes, we have rapists and murderers that are illegal aliens, and we're going to prevent the federal government. Like, I'm hoping I think the fever broke, right, on November 5th. It was breaking for a while, but all of this stuff needs to be dealt with. And that's like withholding funding from these cities, states. Any sanctuary city should not get any federal funding. Okay. Yes. That's what, but so again, impoundments, okay. Going back to impoundments, like the president saying, this is a threat to our national security, or this is a threat to XYZ. I'm making a finding that none of these 8 cities, none of these states are going to get any federal funding. Are there legal actions to take against these state officials, these city officials who, basically obstruct federal law enforcement efforts to get these, horrible, horrible people out of our country, right? So those are the types of things, okay? Getting any action you can in terms of getting boys out of girls' sports, right? That's a threat to women and girls, right? Their safety. So taking legal action on that, issuing directives on that. So it's a full agenda, looking at big tech censorship, right? Looking at the companies that colluded with agencies and what they did. I think the president said he wants to do that. That's something that, again, and what happens is when you walk in there, right, you're going to have these career people. And I put up a post today, Benny, on how, with affirmative action under Trump 45, they were looking at Yale University and how they were discriminating in their admissions practices. And I talked to several people at the department, former political guys there, that the career people basically refused to work on those cases. The assistant attorney general had to write his own brief on those sorts of things, write the complaints. Looking into Andrew Cuomo and the deaths up in New York and the staff slow rolling that. Those are the kinds of things when you talk about here's the agenda. Career people have to be, faithful in faithfully implementing the new boss's agenda because he's been elected, and that's the way our system of government works.
Yeah, you work for us. Like, we're your boss. We're the actual owners of this country. We, the American taxpayers. You don't get a right to defy us and defy the boss that we selected for you. That's Donald Trump. So I really hope, Mark, and I'm sure you saw plenty of this odious, sneering elitism of the permanent parasitic Washington, D.C. establishment saying we're just not going to enact Donald Trump's policies. We refuse, as you just detailed, as you just elucidated for us. We just refuse to do the thing we've been told to do. I hope that is swiftly and immediately. How would that, if you were Attorney General, would that lawyer be working at the Department of Justice if they did that to you?
So there are these. I would seek to terminate those employees as quickly as possible. And again, remember, there's this thing that we had done at the end of the Trump administration, the first one called Schedule F, right, which was to reclassify all these career officials. Okay, because it's really interesting, Benny. When you look at, and I'll say this, I worked with a lot of great career people at OMB. I mean, the person who helped me figure out the wall funding and how it could be tapped out of DOD was a career person, So I had good career people there. And as I pointed out in my post, we had bad people. We had a person who leaked documents and then lied during investigation. And I only found that out because an intel agency called me about a year later to say, hey, this person under a polygraph, they're applying for a job at the CIA, just admitted that they leaked the document. And we just care, was it a classified document? I mean, that's how I found out after we had done an investigation and this person had lied to us that there was a leak. So there are people, and there's a lot, there are people who are helpful, and then there are people who are very unhelpful. And those people, my view is they need to be dealt with. And what do I mean by that? Under the civil service laws right now, putting them on their probation, but ultimately firing them. And hopefully as quickly as possible. We need to send a signal. It's going to just be it's unacceptable to do this sort of thing. There's no time to waste. The agenda, right? This is the thing. They are the subverters of democracy. That's what I put in this post, right? They are the ones who are, resisting a democratically elected president, right? Who the American people said, yes, we want this. 70% of people want illegal aliens deported out of our country, right? So if they're resisting that, it's unlawful and it's undemocratic. And so I'm bringing this out. I'm making more attention. This post is getting some attention because other lawyers that worked at the Department of Justice are putting out their own stories of the resistance from the career officials. So, like I said, there are good career employees. There's a lot of people who think that they can resist and they think it's noble, and they get encouraged by the media, right? And these resistors out there to stay in the government and try and stop Donald Trump, right? These are, and as I pointed out, nobody was complaining when Joe Biden was doing these ridiculously unlawful on the spot, student loan forgiveness things, right? Everyone was all in on that, right? The media was, oh, he's defying the Supreme Court. Oh, okay, is this how this works? So looking forward to whoever is the Attorney General being aggressive in implementing the president's agenda. It is the tip of the spear in implementing a lot of things that the president's been talking about, and that's why it's going to be exciting to see what happens starting January 20th.
So just really quickly, Mark, I know I'm getting a signal that you have to go, but I just have to get on the record your thoughts on two things that are very important to this show and this audience. One, will there be some type of restitution if there has been found that that people who are politically persecuted and have been locked in DC gulags on January 6th, that those people deserve some type of recompense from the federal government based on what they've been through? I know that there's a fund at the Department of Justice for this. Would you be open to restitution for these Americans?
Again, whoever's running the Department of Justice should absolutely look at that. The persecution of so many people was just awful, right? And whatever can be done to compensate, rehabilitate them is something that should be done.
Yes, and very quickly here, Jack Smith. Many are calling for an investigation into what actually happened there, as Jack Smith has been utterly humiliated in every single court, and this is a trend throughout his career as sort of a hatchet man. Many are saying, we need to look into this and how it all happened. Was Biden actually colluding to lock up his political opponent? Your thoughts?
100%. I mean, part of it is, transparency, because it was such an awful period. It was such a weaponized period. Going back again, I call it accountability, transparency. It's not vengeance or anything like that. Mm-hmm. This looked like it was a very serious, weaponization of the Department of Justice. And I think we need to, going all the way back to Crossfire Hurricane, in fact, and releasing all of those documents, releasing what happened there, because it was so scary, right? So disturbing what the swamp did to President Trump right from the get-go, right? And you see, like when Obama met with Biden and his team at the end of the Obama presidency, set this all in motion. So getting those documents out, I think looking at the Hunter Biden laptop and all the 51 officials that came out is something that needs to be exposed, looked into, and then the Jack Smith lawfare against President Trump.
We will never stop. We will go until our voice cracks saying that these people that rigged the election in 2020, meaning saying an untrue thing about Hunter Biden's laptop and leveraging their status with the government, need to have their security clearances stripped.
The FBI knew it was legit, was a real laptop, and they pushed out fake information on that.
Yes,
right?
yes, and they need a punishment
to influence an election. Absolutely,
Mark. They need a punishment. They need to have. There needs to be some type of consequence, right, for doing that, because you can't do that, right? They knew better,
right,
and they did it, and so we need to say we no longer trust you. Your security clearances is gone, and that's just the wages of sin, right?
Yes, so and that's why having loyal, again, I've written on this too, like there were a number of people who kept information from President Trump in the first administration, right? We want to bring information to President Trump, let him make the decisions. He's the duly elected president.
Yes.
That's the way our system works.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Mark, and thank you so much for coming on the program. Everybody follow Mark, who he's a very humble man, but I'll say it, would, I think, make an excellent attorney general. Also has the full endorsement of Mike Davis, who, of course, is sharp as a tack, ladies and gentlemen. People who actually properly defended President Trump and have the evidence to show that. One of them is Mark Paoletta. You can go follow him here, and please support what he is working with. And I think he's going to have a very busy 4 years. I think you're going to have a very busy 4 years, Mark. And we say Godspeed.
Thanks, Benny.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. We can announce to you on this program something that happened a couple minutes ago, that broke a couple minutes ago, that John Thune is the majority leader in the Senate. I will never, ever accept his leadership. That might seem petty. Ben, why would you do that? I don't know him, right? He's never been on the show. Like, there's nothing personal. I've never met him, okay? And I don't know any of his staff. So I know people who do know him and don't like him, but whatever. So it's not personal. It's the fact that John Thune literally fomented and pushed January 6th conspiracy theories to lock up his fellow American and also members of his own party. John Thune didn't say a word in defense of President Trump. In fact, he mulled on television that he wanted President Trump to not run again. We have the evidence. I mean, it's like we don't need to speculate here. We have the physical evidence of John Thune doing these things. John Thune said Donald Trump needs to drop out of the race and let Mike Pence be president, along with many other humiliating, degrading, embarrassing acts of John Thune. Ladies and gentlemen, I am enraged by this decision. However, we are also a Christian, and so I believe in the capacity for people to ask forgiveness and for individuals to change their ways. I have to, right? Because I've required forgiveness myself. And so, while we will hold the things that John Thune did into account forever, we can also say you can change your ways. So you did those things. You should have great shame. You should ask forgiveness for those things. You should seek recompense. But if you support President Trump's agenda fully, from window to the wall, if you confirm his judges, if you pass his legislation, if you fight the left, if you draw a hard line against wokeism, if you become one of us, then, well, we'll accept you. Meaning that, we wouldn't have, I really don't think we'd have a President Trump today if we didn't look broadly at people like Tulsi Gabbard, individuals. Tulsi Gabbard ran against President Trump last election cycle. That's right. Like, friggin' love her, but she ran against Trump in 2020. So just keep that in mind, right? I'm trying, as I'm processing this and working through it. RFK certainly was not like big time MAGA over the last couple of years, but we found common ground and we've made it work. Elon Musk, freaking love Elon Musk. You know how much we love Elon. Elon Musk donated to Barack Obama, wanted Democrats in the White House. For pretty much the last 20 years, Elon Musk's done everything he can to get Democrats in the White House. So people can change, all right? Christians, you got to assume that. You got to let bygones be bygones. And here's the incredible first warning to John Thune. We know so many good senators that really don't like you. And they are very suspicious of you. And we will work with every breath that we have on this program and use every muscle that we possibly can of leverage to remove you if you dare cross the agenda that you did nothing to bring about. You didn't lift a finger. You sabotaged Trump every time you got the chance. You mulled and bitched and moaned and complained that Donald Trump was running again. You wished for his impeachment, and you wantonly tried to lock up MAGA supporters in prison. So we'll remember that, and if you change your ways, fine. We'll work alongside of you. If you dare cross us, then we will use every single lever of power that we have to remove you. The end. Okay? That's my take on it. Pretty pissed off right now about it, but it is what it is. There have been bad days on this program. We've had to work ourselves through a lot of tough news cycles over the last couple of years, and this doesn't even register as it pertains to some of the news cycles we've had to slog through as Donald Trump is dragged into ratty prisons and getting mugshots. I mean, listen, those are tough shows, right? Those are tough shows. Donald Trump's becoming a convicted felon and being thrown into prison, right? He was this close to being thrown into prison for life. That's what they were about to do to him in New York. They were about to put Donald Trump in jail and hope that he dies in prison. That's what they were planning on doing if Donald Trump didn't win the election. That's what was the stakes. Those were the stakes. Those were tough, okay? This we're going to see. Here's John Thune posting. Is this the first post? I'm extremely honored to have earned the support of my colleagues, lead the Senate and 119th Congress, and beyond proud of the work that we have done to secure our majorities and the White House. Really, show me one bit of work that you did for Trump. Can somebody show me this? Dude, I'm going to go hard in. I'm just, not forgiving yet. You did nothing. You'd been happy to see all MAGA supporters in jail. This Republican team is united behind President Trump's agenda, and the work starts today. Okay, fine. You know what? Show us. Don't care about your words. Show us. I proudly stood against John Thune and exposed who he was and what he has done over the last couple of years, and I apologize for absolutely effing nothing, John Thune. We'll see. We'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have some absolutely excellent producer Robert. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Okay. Apologize for the little. Had to spit some fire on John Thune, though we shall see. Monica Crowley, somebody who worked in President Trump's first administration, who's been such a strong ally of the program and such a wonderful voice for President Trump through these last couple of years, unlike John Thune, joins the program live now. So, Monica, hello. I'm sorry. I got a little bee in my bonnet.
Benny, I share the bee in your bonnet over this election in the U.S. Senate, which, by the way, was taken with a secret vote. Yeah. You know, we are in a new age of transparency and accountability. President Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, they have all been talking about an open process of governance for the American people. And yet the United States Senate seems to think that it's somehow exempt from transparency and accountability. So they did this behind closed doors in a smoke-filled room vote for GOP leader, who is going to be the Senate Majority Leader. They took this vote without any accountability to us, the America First base, or to the American people more broadly. And they chose a guy who is the exact opposite of what millions, tens of millions of Americans voted for just 8 days ago, which is President Trump, J.D. Vance, and America First. John Thune, you laid it out beautifully. John Thune is the exact opposite of what the American people delivered last week, which was a landslide mandate for President Trump and America First. So he can put out all the statements in the world. You know, we will watch and see, but to your point, Benny, we will watch him like a hawk. And if he dares to step out of line or throws any kind of monkey wrenches into President Trump's agenda, slows it down, slow walks nominees, we're going to be all over him. And the president does have a trump card in J.D. Vance, because he can send the vice president in to trump John Thune and get the wheels operating again. So right. John Thune is on a very tight leash.
Yes, well, good. I mean, listen, as these videos play of him standing next to McConnell, I'm of course reminded of that moment that McConnell spaced out and had a seizure live on TV, and we all watched it, right? It's a freaking seizure. And I'm married to a medical professional. She goes, okay, Mitch McConnell just had a theater. John Thune lied. I mean, we had our own Biden situation here that we don't talk about, where Mitch McConnell was not physically well enough to do this job. And guys like John Thune didn't say anything. For his own power, he didn't turn against his master and allowed Mitch McConnell to continue to humiliate the American people and to lock our movement up. I mean, listen, these guys all supported January 6th. They all supported Pelosi. They all linked arms and cried with Democrats. And so I'm telling you what, man, I have to preach forgiveness, but that only if you turn from the errors of your ways. And these guys brought us the Mitch McConnell. Their inability to say something about Mitch's current state is what brought us to this moment.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And look, you know, we did not deliver President Trump a massive landslide mandate only to turn the keys of the U.S. Senate over, now that we have control, to an establishment tool. Okay, we did not go through all of this for the last 9.5 years. I have very proudly stood by President Trump since June 16th, 2015, through thick and thin, Benny, as you know. We did not come all this way on this journey to have this extraordinary beginning of the final act here of President Trump going back in as a triumphant hero. We did not come this far now to have the U.S. Senate revert back to this kind of establishment BS nonsense where they're all protecting each other. They're protecting the swamp. They're enriching and protecting themselves and empowering themselves at the expense of the people. No, we have roundly rejected that in massive numbers, only to have John Thune sit around and say, well, Senate procedure is X and no recess appointments. And oh, hell no. Hell no. We're not going to stand for it. So like I said, John Thune is on a very short leash, Benny, and the second he steps out of line, he is done.
Monica, you served proudly and very beautifully in the first Trump administration, doing the work at Treasury that needed to be done, and that was inarguably one of the shining bright spots of the first admin, which was the economy and the way that we managed our economy. First off, have you gotten the phone call from the president? Will you be going back in? And second off, what would you like to do?
Well, thank you for the very nice words about my service in the first Trump administration. Very proud of that economic record. He delivered a booming economy through tax cuts, regulatory relief, unleashing our great energy sector, and striking fair trade deals with our trading partners like China, Mexico, Canada, and others. He is going to do all of that again in his second term, only on steroids, adding creative policies like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, making car loan interest tax deductible. It is going to be an economic boom, the likes of which we have never seen. In terms of the transition process, obviously I'm not going to speak to that process. This is all being done at the discretion of the president, and he is putting together an extraordinary dream team. Benny, every day I wake up like a kid on Christmas morning, like, who's he going to appoint next? And that said, it was the honor of my life to serve in a second term. I would be deeply honored to serve in the second term, like I did in the first term. And again, it's all up to the president, and I am just enjoying every moment of watching him build this out so we can all take America back again and make it great again.
There's so many There's so you can't say it. I understand, because I know that these conversations need to be done with courtesy and with politeness and with deference to the boss. But I can say it, man. I'd love to see you as press secretary. I don't know. I can think of like 50 different places that I'd love to see the great Monica Crowley in the administration. But yeah,
very kind, Benny.
We know we're in for a great 4 years. Now, the agenda for President Trump is going to be locked in quite quickly. I mean, they're going to want to do recess appointments in the Senate. I guess that'll be the first great test to see if we are able to get that done. John Thune very limp-wristed about it, given the fact that he is literally a lapdog for Mitch McConnell. So I still personally believe that Mitch McConnell's calling the shots. Anyway, prove us wrong. What do you want to see done in this next administration as a top line? Maybe you could talk us through the first three things, given the fact that you have crafted so much of the president's messaging and have been a part of implementing this vision.
Well, thank you, Benny. In the first really day, 10 days, 100 days, the president has spoken to top priorities. Number one, closing the border. That is an existential threat to the United States. We've been under that sword of Damocles for the last 4 years under Biden-Harris. He will immediately seal the border and begin to construct an infrastructure to begin mass deportations. That is top line. Number two, and this is in no particular order. Number two, go to Congress, and he's going to need John Thune on this. Go to Congress and make the Trump tax cuts permanent. That will put rocket fuel under this economy, as well as the third thing, which is drill, baby, drill. He's going to immediately lift all of the restrictions, climate agenda, etc., drilling on federal land that Biden-Harris put into place that stifled American domestic energy production. He's going to lift all of those restrictions, allow our great energy sector to run wild, get us back to energy independence. And I will tell you, Benny, starting on day one, when he issues that executive order, that is immediately going to bring prices down. Literally on day one. How? Because energy is built into every single thing you consume. So when he does that, it is psychologically as well as economically going to begin to rein in inflation. So those are the top things, but I also want to see pardons for the January 6th defendants. I want to see the new Attorney General begin to raise the DOJ and the FBI to the ground, get rid of all of the deep state corruption and criminals, and begin to hold them accountable. That's the only way we're going to heal our system. There has to be accountability. It's not revenge or retribution, it is justice. And if we're going to show that we are a country built on the rule of law, we need to hold these criminals accountable. So there, I gave you 4 or 5 top things. I can't wait.
Well, you also gave me a new thought here, Monica, which is Monica Crowley, Department of Energy. You could be there as the director of energy, and whenever you're on our program, you have so much energy. You're just full of energy. One time you joined the show from the back of an Uber. You were in the back of an Uber. You're like, what's going on?
That's right. That's right. Well, I can certainly be the minister of energy, because when it comes to America First and President Trump's agenda, very few people have been more passionate about it over the last nearly 10 years than I have. It is a blessing to champion this president and this agenda.
Okay. Well, hey, maybe. Oh, we have a screen. We have just a screenshot to prove to the audience. Here we go. Monica Crowley with the Uber driver, I think, holding the phone. Is this correct? In the back of an Uber. Pop it up. This was a legendary one. This was after the debate. It was a debate night, right? You joined a debate night. Yeah, it was great.
Yes, that's right. Not exactly the best photo. I think it needs a good filter there.
Just a freeze frame. Yeah, that's right. We should, just moving quickly, but yeah, amazing. Full.
I just want you to know that's how much I love you and this show, is that I did it from the back of a car with the Uber driver holding a light on me. Good times.
Oh man. Okay, Department of Energy, let's go. We'll send the tweet this afternoon. Thank you so much, Monica Crowley. You are the greatest. Everybody follow Monica Crowley. Obviously, the best background on all of X. The moment is here. 1.1 million Americans already follow Monica Crowley. You should be one of them. Godspeed.
Thank you, Benny.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing you a man that's smoking right now. What I mean is a guy is physically smoking right now. The great Troy Nehls from the state of Texas joins us live. Often, Congressman, when we say we're bringing you someone who's smoking, it's a turn of phrase, right? It means you're hot on social media, or you're doing something that's getting a lot of news. But you're physically smoking right now.
Well, my wife would say smoking hot, Benny. That's what she would say. But I tell you something, you want to know a guy that's smoking. Benny, it's you, buddy. It's you. I've watched you throughout the campaign. You're on the garbage truck with Vivek. I mean, this is incredible. I tell you, I was with Elon this morning. You know, he and President Trump were at our conference. You're going to strap you on one of those rockets. You're going straight to the moon. But I tell you what's going to happen, Benny. This is what needs to happen. Now that Pete's going to be sec deaf, you got to replace Pete, Benny. You got to replace Pete. You're not as good looking. Pete's a good looking guy, got nice hair and everything. But I think you could be right there with him, buddy. You could be fantastic.
He's got the tattoos, man, you know? And he can do these triathlons. He's got the tattoos.
Keep your shirt on, Benny. Keep your shirt on.
I don't got any. He's got a We the People right here, right? Pretty badass.
Fantastic. But no, I tell you, I couldn't be more proud of you, Benny. I've been watching you now, this and that. You're doing a hell of a job. Congratulations. You are a rock star. You are a rising star. Get on one of those rockets. You're going to the moon, buddy.
As long as they can catch the rocket. As long as they can catch him with the chopsticks.
Hey, it comes back. Hey, he puts it right back in the saddle. Did you see how he brought that rocket and set it right back in those arms? It's incredible. Elon Musk, smartest man on the globe.
We have these photos of, I believe, you and Elon Musk this morning, at least Elon Musk in a meeting with you this morning. We'll pop them up on screen. The table is completely yours, Congressman. Talk us through President Trump's speech this morning. We'll cycle through some B-roll. We also have, of course, photos of your golden Trump shoes. Here they are. There you go. There's the golden Trump shoes that the Congressman's wearing. Are you wearing them right now, Congressman?
I am. I have the shoes on. I have the Trump tie on. You can see the Trump tie. But I tell you, Benny, when Donald Trump, when the greatest president of my lifetime, showed up in the Republican conference this morning, he didn't have to go. He was meeting with Joe Biden and this and that. And he came over to the Republican conference. He was so gracious with his time. He spoke and he thanked the conference. He said, hey, thank you. Now let's go to work. We got to do we got to get to work, and we have to pass his agenda. We should not waver from it at all. And I believe that the conference was thanking Donald Trump, because if it weren't for Donald Trump, I don't believe we would have the majority in the House. But Donald Trump delivered a victory for not only the House, the Senate, and the White House. We now have a unified government. And so whatever Donald Trump's mission statement is, I believe we have an idea what his mission statement is. That we need to follow it word for word. We should not deviate at all. Whatever his agenda is, we need to do everything we can to make sure that he is successful. And if he's successful, the American people are successful, and we'll make America great again.
Congressman, we have some of these images of President Trump. This is President Trump moments ago. It was about an hour ago where he addressed Republicans in the House. He's now currently in a meeting with Joe Biden. However, the live feed was taken out, right, of the room. And so we were only able to capture President Trump's initial comments. Can you please fill us in on what did he talk with the conference about?
Well, he was in there and he was just very positive. Again, he was very thankful. He said, we have a lot of work to do now. He went through some of the different states and he talked about, winning the popular vote. And that hasn't happened since 2004. So it was just a very positive message. But he also said the work has just begun. I mean, now the election over, now it's really the work is just beginning. We want to make sure that the Senate will quickly confirm his nominees, his cabinet nominees. There's a lot of work to be done, and everybody, Benny, seems to talk about the first 100 days. But our goals and our objectives should be when Donald Trump is sworn in on January 20th, he gets into that Oval Office, there should be a stack of papers, a stack of bills that support him and his agenda. And he should be signing them on January 20th, right away. Let's get to work immediately.
I was really excited to ask you about something that's near and dear to this program, which is voter ID for federal elections, which, based on the number of lawyers who've come on our program, has said, Congress has the right to say in a federal election, you must have certain qualifications to vote. Like, you're an American citizen. That's one time that Congress came through and said, these are the people who are allowed to vote. You should have voter ID. That seems such a no-brainer, and it's a 90-10 issue. It's probably the most popular issue with the American public that Republicans could enact right now. Can you talk us through what would that battle look like?
Well, I agree. I don't necessarily like these computers. I mean, they say that computers are the greatest thing because it adds all the votes up and you should know right away. Why are we waiting a week later? We can't even call some congressional races. There's something wrong here with our elections process we have in our country. Look what took place in 2020. The point is, and it was touched upon today a little bit in our meeting, we should have all paper ballots and we should have one day of voting. Make it a national holiday. I would support a national holiday so everybody has an opportunity to vote, those of us that work, right? And have paper ballots, and you should have a proof that, number one, you are actually legal to vote, that you're an American citizen and you have a right to vote in our elections, our federal elections. It only makes sense. And I agree. I think the American people support that. And we in Congress should do everything we can to work in that direction. These machines don't seem to be working. It takes a week, 10 days. It's kind of fishy what they did in Wisconsin with Eric Hudvey and how he was winning that election. And then all of a sudden the big dump in Milwaukee, and all of a sudden now Tammy Baldwin's there. So we got problems with our election process. And I think the American people want to see us kind of tighten this thing up a little bit, get rid of the machines, have one day of voting. I agree.
I think the number one way that you could secure elections would be having voter ID, but also the number one reason that Democrats fight it is that the only states that Kamala won were ones that don't require ID. You can see here on the map, Congressman.
They cheat, Benny. The Democrats cheat. I talked about this in my book, the big fraud about the 2020 election. And if you don't think they cheated in that election, give me a break. And you look at, I tell you what, the Democrats are telling you, I was watching a little bit of MSLSD the other night on election night, going back and forth to Fox, and they were saying, oh, Pennsylvania, everybody's voting. This is a massive turnout, massive turnout. Well, she didn't reach 80 million. How did Joe Biden get 81 million votes in 2020 from the damn basement? Give me a break. It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Was it a rapture? Is it a rapture? Is it like, is it, what happened? Exactly.
Well, a lot of people 6 feet under voted that election.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Donald Trump's going to bring that up with Joe Biden. What do you think they're talking about right now, Congressman?
Well, I don't know. You've seen some of the pictures and the greatest president of my lifetime sitting next to Joe Biden. And Joe Biden he has a little bit of a smile on a smirk on his face. And I know what he's thinking. He's thinking, yeah, the Democrats made a big, big mistake. They brought in Kamala. I think Joe Biden, especially his wife, Jill, is actually pleased that Donald Trump won. It kind of clears her husband up a little bit. It makes him feel like, you know what? You guys all threw me under the bus, and you picked a far left nut job with a far left nut job out of Minnesota, the most dangerous combination you could have in the history of American politics. And Donald Trump won. You should have probably kept me. Now, he would have still beat Joe, but this makes Joe Biden feel a little bit better, in my opinion, with Kamala getting beat as bad as she did.
Look at Joe Biden smiling right there.
Oh,
yeah, right. You're right. That dirty dog. He's happy. He's happy. This is happy.
Oh, and his wife. Did you see the pictures of his wife Jill and Kamala walking into that veterans program? They didn't even speak. I mean, you needed to put a Secret Service agent between both of them because it was going to get ugly. But I'm telling you right now, Joe Biden is thinking, you know what? You guys, I love my husband, Joe Biden. He's a great president, all this other stuff. And you threw him under the bus and you picked her. Really, folks? Give me a break. I tell you, I feel good about, what we've seen with the American people in the last week by actually going to the polls and truly thinking Donald Trump is the guy that can get us out of these issues, these messes. We have a crisis on every corner. The world is on fire, quite honestly, and they made the right decision with Donald J. Trump. And I applaud the American people for that. I mean, winning the popular vote, Benny, this is a big deal. Donald Trump did something that most Republicans haven't been able to do. I would probably say put New Jersey now as a potential swing state in 28. I believe.
Yeah. And a huge compliment to you, just really quickly touching on Texas. Texas went redder than it's been in my lifetime, I believe. This whole Obama idea that he's going to turn Texas purple. Do you got a message to Obama? We'll pull up the Texas map right now for 2020. This state your state is trending in all the right direction, and you're going to get, I think, 5 more congressional seats in a couple of years, in 2 cycles. Well done, Congressman.
Colin Allred, he come in there, thought he was going to win that race. They spent tens of millions of dollars against Ted. Ted wins by 10 points. It was a beautiful thing. Trump wins it by a whole bunch. So it's those southern border counties at the southern border that used to be blue, and Trump turned them all red because Trump wants to protect the American people, and he wants to protect those border counties and the border states. And the Hispanics came out in droves for Donald Trump. So now let's make sure that the Republican Party, we got to do this now, we put our arms around them. We put our arms around all these different groups of people and say, hey, listen, we're going to put the American people first. We're putting you first. And we could win elections in the future. But we got to take care of the House. We got to take care of the Senate and do everything we can to make sure Donald Trump's agenda is passed. We follow his guidance. We follow his advice. And we got to get in lockstep, Benny. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Get in lockstep and do everything Donald Trump asks us to do because the American people support him. The American people love him. And he puts the American people first. What the hell's the matter with that? Nothing.
I think Mike Johnson's appeared on the trail with Donald Trump. We sat right next to Mike Johnson in Madison Square Garden, and it was great. It seems like Mike Johnson and Trump are deeply positively aligned. Haven't seen the same out of Thune. Now, Thune just beat Senator John Cornyn from Texas in the Senate. Sound off, Congressman. What do you think about this?
Well, I tell you, you had a great guest here just before me, Monica, and Monica's right, but you had a little bit of John Thune stuff, and he said that he wants to support the president's agenda. Well, he can do that. Congratulations on getting the position, Senator Thune, but you can help us right away immediately by making sure we have smooth confirmation process. Don't delay. Get behind the president. The president is always right. He has nominated these individuals. I like them. I think they're great. They put the American people first. So get this confirmation process done as quickly as possible and support the greatest president in our lifetimes. That's Donald J. Trump. The message is simple. Support President Donald J. Trump in everything we do.
Ken Paxton for AG, what do you think? You've got to know the guy, right? Pretty well.
No, I had dinner with him on Saturday night. We were sitting there having dinner. I think Ken Paxton is fantastic. He sued the Biden administration a couple more times just recently. I tell you, you want a guy that just loves our country, and he's a fighter. Ken Paxton is a fighter. So I don't know what his future holds. I really don't. But in whatever capacity he chooses to run, I would be behind him 110% because he loves Texas and he loves America. He loves this country. He really, really does.
That's wonderful to hear. Final question for you, Congressman, and I know it's right up your alley. You've always come on this program and have made fun of how fake the support is for the left, how real the support for President Trump is on the ground, because you go out and you campaign with President Trump and you see it. We saw a phenomenon happen this election cycle where celebrities who said they were going to stay out of politics suddenly were like running to endorse Kamala Harris. Now, some of them were getting paid, but we think it has something to do with the Diddy tapes. And now Hollywood's really quiet right now. The FBI raided Diddy's home, and they also raided Jeffrey Epstein. Yet we've seen nothing from these two individuals. I'm not sure why they'd protect pederasts or these kind of predator monsters. It'd be really great to have some sunlight and some disinfectant for these cases. Can we expect anything out of Congress?
Well, you bring up these Hollywood elites, Robert De Niro and Oprah, whether you paid them or not, doesn't matter. In order for Kamala to fill up a stadium, she had to bring Cardi B in there to try to twerk this and that. Donald Trump he just organic. Everything that man does, he can fill stadiums. Nobody on this globe can do it. Maybe the Pope could get close, but nobody can bring a group together like Donald J. Trump does. And it's the American people that support him. There's no fakeness. I've been to rallies. I had a rally for him in Wisconsin. Those are America First patriots that love this country, and they believe in the leader of our party, and that's Donald Trump. He didn't have to hire a band to come on in there and try to entertain people, to bring people together. He brings it in because the American people love him, and it was quite evidence with the election results the other day. So now it's Congress's opportunity. It's our time now to get behind the leader of our party, and we need to do it all. As I said, that mission statement of Donald Trump, we need to follow it word for word. Everything Donald Trump asks us to do, we need to follow it and get it done. Support him and his agenda, because his agenda will make America great again. It's plain and simple.
Transparency, man. We want to see the Diddy list. We want to see the Epstein list. We want to see it. We think that's how they actually get these endorsements, but I guess we'll find out. Ladies and gentlemen, you must follow the great congressman from the state of Texas. Troy Nehls is just one of those. If we had a Congress with if we could clone them and we've had 5 more, we'd change the country forever. But we're glad we have one, and we're thankful for him. 200,000 Americans follow the great congressman from Texas. You should be one of them.
Now I'm going to start the push, Benny. I'm going to start the push. I know you got to go. I'm starting the push for all the viewers watching this. We got to reach out to Fox News. Benny's got to replace Pete. He's got to replace Pete. Benny's tall. He's good looking. Not as good looking as Pete, but good looking guy, Benny. You got to be out there. You got to be on the couch. You got to be speaking to the American people on Fox News.
I'm not moving to New York. I'm not.
You heard it here first. We'll find a way to do everything is on Zoom or Teams and all that. But Benny, I think you would be fantastic. You would be fantastic, buddy.
I have the same problem as Bongino has, right? Being Secret Service director is who wants to move back to the swamp? Who wants to move to Manhattan? I don't want it. I love Florida. People in
Benny,
Texas
we'll get a
love Texas.
two-bedroom, buddy. We'll get a two-bedroom, and we'll just talk about the conservative values, the American people. It would be fantastic, Benny. I think it'd be great.
Nobody leaves Texas. People go to Texas, they stay forever. They never leave, right? Because it's a great state. You don't want to go to the swamp. Oh, there you go. All right, we'll do a buddy comedy. Okay, fine. If we could do a buddy comedy, Congressman, where it's you and I smoking cigars and talking shit, then I'd be down. Okay, fine.
Thank you.
We'll
You're
see.
great. God bless you.
God bless you, Congressman. Oh, man. Okay. The news is popping, baby. We got Chuck Schumer congratulating Donald Trump for the erection that Trump gave him. Listen, I'm not trying to be profane. We literally have the clip where Chuck Schumer talks about the erection that Donald Trump incited in him. Okay? Now, this is what Chuck Schumer said on the record. So we're not trying to be potty-mouthed here. It's literally Chuck Schumer said it. We'll never forget it, just like what John Thune's past is. Nonetheless, here's Chuck Schumer congratulating President Trump.
Mr. President, I have just been told that Senator John Thune will be the next Republican leader in the Senate. I congratulate Senator Thune on being chosen by his colleagues as the next Republican leader. I look forward to working with him. We've done many bipartisan things here in the Senate together, and I hope that continues. As you know, I strongly believe that bipartisanship is the best and often the only way to get things done in the Senate.
Oh, shut up, dude. Oh, come on. So here he is, Mr. Viagra over here, thanking Trump for his erection.
Senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the insurrection against the United States.
Speaking of people being extremely excited on camera, CNN has a remarkable clip that ALX has pushed along and said, you gotta play this one. CNN saying it's stunning watching all of the Biden staffers cry on their balconies as Donald Trump shows up and arrives and departs the White House. Here is a clip with CNN having a tight shot on the staffers themselves. Let's go.
We're sitting here, as Caitlin was on, looking at that imagery, and it's really stunning. Those are Biden staffers. They're in the EOB. Some of them are lower level, some of them perhaps a little bit higher. But they're there to watch a history moment being made that nobody standing there wanted.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Oh, boy. I got to tell you, you got Mike Pence congratulating John Thune. I'm so sad that we're going to be right on this John Thune scene. I'm so sad. We've been right about so much. We've lost track, and it's not because we're particularly smart. We do have a lot of smart friends. They all come on the show, okay? So it makes you smart. But it's just our superpower. We're alive, we pay attention, and pattern recognition. You can see the patterns being created already. The patterns already, ladies and gentlemen. Are all the wrong people are congratulating John Thune. And all the right people are saying, damn it, man, you got to be careful. Better be careful. Mike Pence, so excited that John Thune just won. Got to be careful. What do we got here? We got some, oh, no. Unimaginable. Cringe at the White House. There's an office decorated with Doug Emhoff's face. Oh, no. Oh, gross. Yuck. You can see the face of Doug Emhoff on the backs of these computers. Not the thing you want to see when you're a young woman coming home to drunk Doug on a bender. You better have a safe room, because Doug's a coming. Yeah. What a monster. boy, they need levels of they need levels of disinfectant in this place. But the cleaning has already begun. Donald Trump's motorcade has left the White House. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, and we just do this as a plate aside when it's ready. I got to tell you, I hate it when we are wrong on this program. But I will admit when we are wrong. Donald Trump did like a 5-minute press conference with with Barack Obama when he did a transition into the first administration. So I've been telling you that they're going to do this press conference because this, we only got like 40 seconds of Donald Trump and Joe Biden on camera. And there's like 5 minutes of like Obama said a couple things, Trump said a couple things. They talked about the meeting that they had. And so I was prepared for that. The press was ready to go. The sticks were up. The cameras were live. Something happened here, man. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I'm not sure. But here's President Trump seconds ago leaving the White House.
And breaking news right now, we did not know how the end of the meeting would look. This is live. This is outside the White House, where President-elect Donald Trump has just left the White House. That's his motorcade right there, after meeting for well over an hour and a half with President Biden. Now, remember, their comments on camera were very short last hour, and we've been playing that for you because this moment in history is huge. Those two men have gotten together. We know that there were expectations of a peaceful transfer. They both talked about that, a peaceful transition. This was the precursor to that, and they both acknowledged that's the goal, and they were, as Trump put it, it's a nice day in the world today. We also know that the First Lady, Jill Biden, handed a letter of purpose about peaceful transition. It's called a letter of readiness, and we have not learned exactly what's in that.
So Donald Trump and Joe Biden depart from each other's company without a press conference. That's fine. I wouldn't want to spend any further time with Joe Biden either. Got to be honest. The fact that Donald Trump's even meeting with Joe Biden shows quite a bit of composure, considering everything he's been through. A lot more graciousness than we have in our bones, I got to tell you. So here is what has been memed. So now it goes to the memers to figure out what actually happened in the meeting. Here's the first round. Here we go. Footage of Joe Biden inside of the Oval Office meeting. As soon as the cameras leave, Joe Biden puts on his Trump hat and smiles. We did it, Donald. We did it, Joe. We did it, Donald. Really good. Okay, there you go. Here's the account. Based Puerto Rican. There you go. Okay. Well, the memers will win. Oh, we have some AI too. Last thing before we get to some closing news. Very good. Okay, here we go. We'll let AI do the meeting for us. And here it is. Boys, can you cue up the best footage of them meeting, please? So that we can just play it. It's really not long. I mean, again, it's about a minute of sound on tape, as they would say. The two of them exchanging pleasantries is all we've got. So I guess we'll wait for the leakers to leak here as we cover some of the more wonderful news of the day. We can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. CNN will be laying off hundreds of people, including stars. Well, I don't think there's any stars that actually work at CNN. And MSNBC is for sale. What a world we live in. How great is that? So CNN, according to reports, are going to be axing hundreds of staff, including some stars. They don't have stars at CNN. I don't know why. We checked out the salary. Some of these people make, Anderson Cooper makes $20 million a year. $20 million a year. For what? He's like a Vanderbilt. It's like Kamala paying Oprah $1 million. Like, what the hell do you need? What do you need $20 million a year for? Nobody even watches your stupid show. MSNBC apparently has lost, well, not apparently, these are according to public Nielsen rating. MSNBC has lost 50% of their viewership across the board. 40 and 50 and 60% loss in viewership as the viewers, of course, realize they've been lied to. That everything was fake, that it was all a psyop. And they didn't have the viewers to begin with. So this is a very bad deal for them. Fake News Inferno. Will MSNBC be sold at auction block? We're not sure. Would be really, really fun to watch. Come on, we have the chance to do the funniest thing ever. Jack Smith plans to resign before Trump takes office, with cases on the brink of shutting down. Oh, this is just freaking delicious. I drink your tears. Special counsel Jack Smith is planning to resign. Donald Trump enters the White House. The federal prosecutors, 2 cases brought against President-elect are on the brink of being closed. Source close to Smith told the New York Times that he wants to finish the work and avoid being fired within 2 seconds of Trump being sworn in. The 2 complex investigations into Trump's cost taxpayers around $50 million. Jack Smith should go to prison for the rest of his life because of these. The reason why is that he's wasted taxpayer money. He should be the first person investigated by Doge. One involved classified documents, and the other focused on January 6th. So Jack Smith got completely smoked. Jack Smith's totally humiliated. Julie Kelly said it best. Hold on, let me find it because I want to. You can't make sure that Julie Kelly has a voice in the program. We freaking love Julie Kelly so much. Yeah, she really is. She really is truly the best. Okay, here we go. Julie Kelly. There you go. Yeah, perfect. Jack Smith will go down as the biggest loser in DOJ history. Lost 3 political prosecutions under Obama. Humiliated by Judge Cannon. Defeated 3 times at SCOTUS this year. And now destroyed by Donald Trump. Now time to investigate him and his low-life team of thugs, including Jay Bratt, David Harbaugh, Tom Wyndham, James Pierce, and Molly Gaston, to name a few. Great. That's exactly, yeah. Also, speaking of paying restitution, how'd you waste $50 million? They wasted $50 million in a stupid special counsel office. For what? Think of how many Americans you could have helped. Think of how many Americans you could have provided meals for, bought a house for. How many young entrepreneurs you could have gotten them their first home. People that would actually build the country, that do good things for the country. What would $50 million have bought? It would have bought, so you could have legitimately began the American dream for 100 Americans by buying $500,000 houses for them. You could have done so much good with that money. Instead, you funneled it to this rat. Well, the rat's in a trap now. It's going to be exciting to watch. And we're going to be there. Unfortunately, we lost, whatever. We did everything that we possibly could with this audience to swing votes to Rick Scott. And we did, I think, a valiant effort. I think Rick Scott would have gotten far fewer votes had we not done a public pressure campaign. A commendable effort, and one that we will not long forget, and now the pressure is on, of course. They thought they were going to sneak in this leadership vote in the dark of night. The pressure is now on, and John Thune better be groveling to MAGA for his existence. Got that guy on a leash. Here is all the best footage that we have of Donald Trump meeting Joe Biden today, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, here's the meeting. In its totality, everything that we can know and see on camera. Let's go.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President, thank you, Donald.
Shake.
Congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you
Back.
very much. And thank you very much. And politics is tough. And it's, in many cases, not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. And a transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Joe.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Oh, my. Okay. Well, it's here. If that's all we get, then so be it. It's here. Oh, man, a glorious day for all of us. The verse of the day today, as it is truly the hand of God, I think, that has ushered us through. I know it, actually. I know it. Psalm 59. You have been a refuge for me, a shelter in my time of trouble. I will praise you, my defender. My refuge is God, God who loves me. It's been a tough time in the country. It's been tough. We've seen quite a bit. But God has been our refuge and always has been the refuge for your ancestors and for mine. And you cling to that eternal wisdom that stretches out through the ages, and you'll be all right. And that's what we're going to do the next couple of years. It's going to be fun. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. Join us. Sign up for the Benny Brigade. Become a member. If you do that, then you assist us in, well, the work that we do on this program. And we're deeply thankful. We're profound. We wake up with Thanksgiving every single morning. We are profoundly thankful for you. Because we're going to win, as we said many, many times in this program. And now we won. It's amazing. I'm still not over it. Maybe I'll never get over it. We won. On election night. On election night. So, ladies and gentlemen, stiff upper lip, chip on your shoulder, stand up right and march with us. We're on to victory. It's your boy Benny. See ya.
Hey, hey, hey! Guess what day it is?
It's hump day. Get it on.
Dun, 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 dun. Little pig, let me in.
The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings, and their dying legacy, media dillweeds. Soon will the Benny Show come to mind. The salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for number one. Show come to mind. The salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for number one. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest king.